There was something I was forgetting coming in this morning. So hold on a second. I should be able to get that one. And now maybe I'll turn it on. Maybe I'll turn it off. But the YouTube should be on in just a second. Thanks for reminding me. Beautiful Sarita Garin, balloon smuggler checking in.
Oh.
Thinking if pork chop is better than balloon smuggler. Well, that's another nickname I have for Sarita because not because she looks like a pork chop, because she makes those pork chop things.
Yeah, is she gonna make them again?
So that's why her nickname sometimes is pork chop. But I don't know the balloon smuggler thing. Huh?
Doug the cartoon. He had a dog named Pork Chop.
Doug the
Not Doug Moylan, the cartoon.
Because Doug's pet is Eric the Eagle. I don't know, Sarita. Maybe you're going to have to send me pictures of you smuggling balloons. I got Francis Duffy, Henry Manglonia, Lonnie Solis is there, Dan Rosal, Bunker, like I said, Pam Duval, the hot sister of the program, is online. Will buy lots of food for people in need, says Bunker, if he were to win that $700 and some odd million. He also says it's snowing in Idaho as well. Andy Sinicolas online saying, Buenas. Good to have you online. Like and share if you don't mind. A lot of people say, "Oh my God, there's Ray Gibson going after those likes again." It's not for me. I'm telling you. I personally, I don't care. I already won the radio war, so it's not a big deal for me. Advertisers respond to that kind of thing, and I tell you what, the way things are going right now, there might be a lot of advertisers going, "All right, yeah, what's it going to take, to sign that contract?" I'm told that. Even NPR, National Public Radio, is going to be. They're doing a riff over at NPR. Just saw this in some of my industry emails. They're going to be doing a reduction in force for exactly the same reason why many other media companies are doing it. They're just not confident that the advertising game is going to be going as well as they say. I personally a little bit more bullish on what's going on. I think radio is a great thing. I think radio, the way we do it here on Guam, is also great. But like I said, the advertisers respond to the numbers. So like and share if you don't mind on the Facebook side, on the YouTube side, even the point.gu if you're watching over there. Now, yesterday, and I'll let them handle the explanations, I sent out a blurb on Facebook and another means for which I can communicate with you, and that is through the online app that we've got. It's a picture of the logo taken at night.
What?
With
the lighting?
It's some of the guys, the third-party guys have got to fix, and we'll one of these days get around to it. But the Point app that you can find it on the Apple side, it's just a black square. It wasn't supposed to be a black square, but it's just a black square. That's what you're supposed to be downloading. You can also find it in the Android store, in the Android Mart, if you will. Now, I'm thinking about too many things at once. Let me slow down and tell you why. Yesterday, I got a call from Jose, and he indicated that for a reason that I will let them explain. There will not be a Tall Tales show on Wednesday afternoon. I said, all right. So I went to Facebook and I put up a blurb, said no Tall Tales today. Sorry about that. Everybody is okay. Everybody is okay, by the way. Because I know the first thing that comes up is, oh, no Tall Tales today. And everybody goes, what happened to Bob? Bob's old. What happened to Bob?
They didn't have a quorum.
Wasn't we did not have a quorum. It's like the GVB. It's skin and bones as far as the quorum was concerned. And now I also sent out, because I was getting messages from people, frankly, who should know better, because I've only been talking about it for 5 years. One of the things that we can do with the 93.3 The Point streaming app is I can send you messages. I don't do it very often. I don't want to abuse the privilege of being able to send a notification to your phone. But if you had the app yesterday, then you would have gotten a note from me that said everybody's okay, but because of circumstances beyond our control, no Tall Tales today. Now, I don't know. I think everything is going to be all right for Tall Tales this afternoon. Hopefully, everybody's gotten everything covered and well taken care of. We'll see how that plays out. But download the app, I guess, is the point that I'm trying to get to. Go get the app. You can find it again at the Apple Store and the Android Store. Download that. It's absolutely free, and a lot of great features, including the ability when I'm boring to be able to hit a button and see what Daryl Izama is doing over on Boss, and what Kyle Mandapat is doing over on Star 101. Great app. Sounds fantastic. You can use it anywhere on the planet. They sell the internet, any time zone it is available. 6:32 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. We got news and headlines. Quick look over at the table of contents. Let me see. Medical campus lease and the governor to okay Chris Duenas' bill. You know, Chris, this is got to be a red letter day for you. Because the governor even says in the article here, I want to thank Chris Duenas for putting this bill out here. Thanks for taking care of this. You know, the Democrat governor applauding now the actions of a Republican senator over at the legislature. My God, you know what? We've moved a second back now. I was worried about World War III, but now that we've got Adelup that is saying nice things about Republicans over at the legislature, maybe there are going to be some doves flying around with olive branches. You just never know. A bunch of other stuff that's taking place, and just how bad is crystal methamphetamine? Just how much of a lure, how much of a hold does it have on some of these ICE guys? I don't know if Donna's got it in this newscast, but there was a magistrate report where they're talking about this guy. They wanted him for, I think, a murder or attempted murder charge. Oh, yeah. And so the cops announced their presence. Him and another guy are sitting in a car, and he goes to his accomplice and says, "Hey, you want to smoke some ice?" And the guy's like, "Dude, the cops are right there." That's the kind of hold that drug can have on you. You want to talk about your losing battles. We'll see what happens again a little bit later on with this guy. In the meantime, as I said, 6:33 in the morning, and about time to jump in with news and headlines with Donna D and find out what else is going on in this town.
A 60-year-old woman who was walking near the ITC intersection was rushed to the hospital after being hit by a car just after noon yesterday. GFD spokesperson Nick Garrido says medics performed CPR as she was taken to the hospital. Her condition is unknown and the crash is under investigation. Meanwhile, after complaints of tiny insects and cockroach eggs in the food, Public Health has shut down Denny's in Tamuning. Health inspectors found multiple violations, ultimately giving the restaurant a D rating. The diner has to pass a follow-up inspection if they want to reopen. And Governor Lulian Guerrero says a long-term lease for the Eagles Field property, eyed to become the home of a planned medical campus on Guam, may be signed at the end of the month. She adds that the lease would be for 50 years with an option to renew. About $160 million out of ARP funds for Guam covers property preparation. $700 million from the federal government would fund the actual construction. And those are your local headlines on The Point. Now back to Ray.
I got you, boy. It's moving. It's making its way. I was thinking that would make a great place for smoking wheels.
Oh, yeah.
If they have to move, if they got to move out of Gigo, you got nothing wrong with that. And people say, but Lou wants to build a hospital there. Never mind. We already own property in Tamuning. Right where the old hospital was. And they're going to keep making that claim. That's just too small. That property is way too small for what we have in mind. And I'm going, that's because you're building out. Don't build out, build up. What is there a law about how big we can make a hospital? Is 4 floors? Are we locked into that? Can we make a larger hospital and more vertical facilities as opposed to trying to spread everything out like that? Huh. You know what? Maybe.
What about that haunted place where the old hospital was?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
that area there. And they keep claiming, oh, it's too small, it's too small. You know what? If we get rid of some of the other junk that's out there, and by junk, I literally mean junk. I mean, if you've not been around there, you can crawl your way through that fence, and there are a bunch of different trails and things like that. And it looks like one of those things where they've got, you know what? Every once in a while, you go by Tendon Gibetnu in Petey by the cemetery, and sometimes you look in the back of it, and it's all this old junk that has come out of GovGuam offices and agencies over the last 5 or 10 years until they have a big bake sale or something like that. That's what it's like back there. There's all kinds of stuff that has been, quote, staged there for other disposition. So we clear off all of that crap, and we might be able to do something medical with that property again. And if not, then give it back to the Paris family. That was the deal a long time ago, wasn't it? That we give this land to the government of Guam, for the people of Guam, for the hospital, and there hasn't been a hospital on that piece of property going back, 45 years, maybe. Maybe it's time to give it back to Tracy and the rest of the family. They're just my thoughts. 6:37, Ray Gibson Show continues probably after these.
what's for breakfast at KFC under $3.95, you ask? What's for breakfast at KFC that's different than the other guys, you ask? KFC's chicken wrap, sausage wrap, the Colonel's chicken congee, chicken fried steak, sausage biscuit and gravy, and biscuit sandwiches made with KFC's original fluffy biscuits. All for under $3.95 and all only at KFC. Plus, with waffles and the Colonel's chicken fried rice, we've got something for everyone.
So visit KFC for breakfast today. It's finger-licking good.
Half a day, this is Honey. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
638 Ray Gibson Show, and attention investors. Century 21 Realty Management is proud to present an investment opportunity that you have got to look at. Ladera Towers Condominium provides luxury living. They're centrally located in Manila with access to the entire island, including the governor's new hospital. Ladera Towers with 3-bedroom condo units available right now. It's an opportunity. Got to see it before they're all gone. All the 4-bedroom units sold out already. 3-bedroom units still available. Rent it out if you want to. Live there if you want to. Century 21 Realty Management can be reached via telephone at 647-5003 or visit the website laderatowerguam.com. Traffic time. Is there traffic right now? Not a whole lot. A little bit more than normal leading up to Anderson Air Force Base. Looks like it starts over by the Zigu Gymnasium over at the Gain area. Southbound Marine Corps Drive looking pretty good virtually everywhere. I'm seeing some traffic start to build up in the Ukadu area, but by the time you get to intersection of 1 and 3, should be looking cherry, like Antiberry. Southbound from there into Upper Tumon in the Tumuling area looking really, really good right now. Just a little bit of intersection traffic in most of the spots that I can see. What is going on in front of the gas station by the airport? Last couple of days,
The outer lane.
Yeah, I've seen guys from IT and E look like they were water blasting.
Oh, I think they're laying some cable in there, Ray.
Hey, how about that? Okay, I know guys. I'm going to find out what they're doing. I mean, okay. I'll see what I can find out about this project and what it means for me personally. Southbound Marine Corps Drive, downtown Agutya area, all the way down to Big Navy and Sumai, looking pretty good right now. 639 Ray Gibson Show continues.
Go green, go hybrid. Go to Nanbo Insurance, and your next power bill is on us. Insure your hybrid car at Nanbo and get up to $350 towards your next power bill. That's instant savings for keeping our island clean and green. Nanbo has been providing Guam with over 50 years of reliable and affordable auto insurance. At Nanbo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for details.
Join us at Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro and see why they've been crowned Guam's best Chamorro food restaurant for 9 consecutive years. Experience Chef Peter's candied salmon over scallion coconut rice, octopus tinactac, Chamorro platter, and their award-winning gourmet burgers. Or if you're looking for something healthy, try their keto-friendly menu. Come and enjoy Mezcla's half-a-day service at their Hagåtña location from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch, 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. for dinner, or 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. for their famous Sunday brunch.
Wait. You know what? I just got some new stuff from the guys over at Nissan. What is it that they want me to talk about? Frontier season. Just because football season is over doesn't mean the fun stops from now until April the 25th. It's Frontier season. Stop by Nissan Guam and grab yourself a winning offer on the rugged Nissan Frontier. Rugged, absolutely. You know where I'm taking this thing today? I'm taking it up the mountain again. And everybody says, but it was raining. It's going to be muddy. It's going to be like super off-road. And I'm like, so what? I don't care. I got a Nissan Frontier. Not getting stuck in anything today. Test drive a brand new Nissan Frontier and win up to $1,000 money, cash. They've also got some great prizes, free grills, coolers, canopies to give away. So grab a test drive and get entered to win today. No money down. Nissan Guam will make the first 3 payments for you. Plus, get a free gift with purchase. What kind of free gift? Case of Spam and 25-pound bag of rice. You want more details? NissanGuam.com.
News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now. 888-8255.
Fender sound system, my guy. It's got underneath the seat in the back, because I got the crew cab thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So underneath the seat, subwoofer.
Oh, yeah.
Subwoofer.
Boom, 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 boom.
Kind of like that. Yeah, I'm in competition. But you know what? Here's the thing, though. I got subwoofer and Fender sound system in the truck. But I promise I'm only going to play good music on it. I'm not gonna play that boom, 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 boom.
We like the cars.
Cars that go boom. Oh, my God. It's in my head now. It won't go away. 642, Ray Gibson, until it's not going to be anymore. Like I said, all the way until 10, full-size program today. And let me just take a quick look at a gander at what people are saying on the Facebook side. Sarita online still teasing me about that balloon smuggling thing, but not sending me any pictures. Keena McCausland saying, how dare you tease me with that beautiful hot weather. Yeah, mostly sunny skies this weekend over at the beach. Oh, no, I'm going to get sand in my shorts. Pam Duvall reporting that Gigo is getting blacktop roads in between the Mobile and McDonald's through Perez Acres all the way to Route 15. Hallelujah. I thought there was blacktop there.
Gigo?
Yeah, in Gigo. It's like, so you're going into Perez Acres, and then you can go straight from there to the back road,
it's
right?
Still gray.
Yeah, it's kind of worn. Yeah, it's getting there, man.
Okay, so
That's sweet, dude.
because I remember I was driving around there with my daughter one day, and she said, Dad, what was here before? I said, nothing. There's never been anything here. What about farms? I don't think there's ever even been farms back here.
Yeah,
I
just
remember
Raquel Welch.
I remember once upon a time, that was a pretty good, I don't want to say makeout spot, but I can't think of any other way to describe it. So that was, and then they put a road there, and wow, look, there's Route 15. How about that? So congratulations to the residents of Zigo. Blacktop, again, between Mobile and McDonald's, through the Perez Acres area, right out to Route 15. That's going to be like stateside there. Let me see. Andy, Jason at Military Auto Sales. Pam Duvall says, switching to radio. That works too. At Napatee's there. Carol and Prune sending blessings to all. Eric Adda, what do we got here? Dealers of ICE should get stronger sentences due to the multiple lives it affects, families, etc. Eric, can I move this a step further? Caning is too good for them. Sometimes I think, the only way that we're going to deal with this problem is the way they deal with it, where in some countries, if you are dealing drugs, hell, if you're just possessing drugs, that's a death sentence. Sorry, that's...
Hey, now, easy there.
Whoa, hey, but like the drug dealers...
I'm holding right now, Ray.
It's okay, it's all right. It's marijuana, it's legal. It's the one that I found outside, right? But here's the thing is, he's right. So many lives are upended by this, and for some people, you start with the crystal methamphetamine, and it just gets so bad, your life becomes so consumed by it, and you know that there's no way that you're going to get out from under it. I venture to say that there's a fair number of suicides in this town that are brought on by the anxiety and the depression that is that stems from that kind of thing, that kind of addiction. Donna D asking, how much was the jackpot? She said, I pay off all my loans and my family's loans. Then, if it was like $20 million, I wasn't paying attention. I'd give $1 million each to nuclear family members. Then I'd get the rock out of here, because otherwise everybody else is going to come after you and try to get some of that dough. Odelia Marie Titano, William Civillo, Ismail, Ray Gibson going to be blasting Informer on his new subwoofer. Yes! I like it, boom, boom, dang. Bunker Meadow, again, Brad Wood. Hey, Brad's online.
Morning, Wood.
Donna D. Lucky boom, boom down, right on. Ruel, the Drewster, Rilan, Bunker Meadow. 3 strikes, you're out. Why not? Let's do that around here. Hey, their drug dealers have rights too. Yeah, but they stop after, you ruin like everybody's life. 6:46 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. So much to talk about, so much to look forward to between now and the weekend. Tomorrow, a couple of things that are going to be worth noting. Number one, the Guam Visitors Bureau is going to be having a general membership meeting, going to try to get an election done done tomorrow and see what happens. That starts at 10, $16. I don't know if it includes free drink at the door.
Mimosas.
Mimosas for everybody. Just say you heard it on the radio and see what happens. And then later on in the afternoon, I think 2, right? Chris Barnett's going to be getting together with the folks in law enforcement and find out what the problems are. How do we address those problems? I don't really. He's like me. I don't want explanations and apologies. I just tell me how to get things done. How do we? What do we need to do to try to put a halt on some of the crime that we've got around here? And one of the answers, I hope, Chris, is we're going to take some of the people that are committing crimes. Remember the 80-20 rule? I think it's the same thing. 80% of the crimes are done around here by 20% of the people. Why don't we find out who those 20% are and stick them in jail? I'm going to tell you a magistrate story about a guy's last name is Rechalap. And you're going to go, oh, my God, I've heard that name before. You've heard that. There's a dozen AKAs associated with this guy because he's been in front of the law that many times. And I'm sure that the cops are just flat tired of arresting this guy. And maybe somebody at the Attorney General's office needs to put together a case that gets him in jail for a long, long time. Somebody else will take his place. It's a big family, but at least this one idiot, maybe we can deal with him. 6:48 in the morning. I don't want to go from saying the word idiot to Bob Kelly.
No, you don't, man. Are you kidding? Did you see what name I wrote for him?
One of the smartest guys. Yeah, one of the smartest. It's Mr. Robert Kelly on the line right now. Good morning, Bob. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I wanted to comment on the hospital.
Please.
Since that was a good topic. First off, there's no question that the infrastructure in Tumon is better prepared to deal with hospitals, hotels, and large complexes than anything on the back road to Anderson's going to have. So looking at the infrastructure, it seems to me very much a no-brainer. Second, we say we want to turn things into more of a tourism like what we have in the Global City and other places in Manila. All the hotels people would stay in if they came here to get medical care. They had to do it in the new hospital. That's too far away. Finally, what's even more important is all of the major clinics. Let's see, 3 OBGYN clinics. Right now, it would take the doctors in the clinics around the hospital 5-8 minutes to get to the hospital if there's a delivery. They move it over there. You're looking at a half hour and rush hour, maybe 45 minutes for them to get over to the hospital, not counting the fact just in routine, but in emergencies or urgent cases. Are all the doctors going to need to move their clinics, hospitals, and houses to be in that area? That doesn't make a lot of sense because of the proximity of the clinics and the infrastructure, the laboratories, the surgery centers. They're all in the area around where the current hospital is and where the new hospital could be if they put it on the point. And they can rehab the current hospital into a longer care facility or something, or use it in a medical purpose. It's near also mental health. And so they have the proximity of all the current health facilities right there. So somehow this just doesn't seem to me like we've got a good planning for this particular option.
Get out of the way. This is her island there, Ray, and she's decided that there's going to be a hospital in Maguilao, and turning virtually every department and agency in the government of Guam bending their missions towards that goal. They're identifying, starting to look for money now to be able to rehab the roadways, put in that infrastructure that you're talking about, electrical, water, sewer, et cetera, in an area right now that its claim to fame is we've got a 2-lane road here up in this part of Maguilao. Hot dog. I'm with you. I'm with you 100%.
What about all the doctors' offices, clinics, the surgery centers, the laboratories,
the pharmacies
the radiology that's over next to the current hospital?
I agree. I agree 1,000%, Bob. I don't know why they've elected to go in that direction. And like I said, they said that the old location of Guam Memorial Hospital, where I believe there's still a ton of utilities that run through it, it's too small. We can't do it. It's too small for us to use. And I'm going. I've seen the artist rendering of this campus, and it looks like everything is built out instead of up, and I think up is the way that they've got to go, regardless of where this thing ends up. If we've got land that we already own, why aren't we taking advantage of it? You're talking about laboratories, doctors' homes. I mean, there's other pharmacies. When I remember my mom was sick in the hospital, and the doctor said, "Well, we got to get this." I said, "Well, is somebody from the GMH going to bring up the drugs?" And they said, "No. Here's a prescription. Go down the street to the pharmacy and buy it because they don't stock this here at Guam Memorial Hospital." I was floored for a couple of different reasons, but that is exactly what we were told when Mom got sick that one time. I'll take it a step further. Mama Tove and all of the different florists that are got to have a florist in the area. I don't know if we got any florists out in the Mingilau area to take care of the, when the dad's got to come in with flowers for the wife because she delivered a baby. I don't know that we've got that kind of infrastructure out there.
Well, yeah, but let's consider one more thing. On just our normal, regular health care, the doctors are somewhat going to be forced to move into that area. I was being taken care of by Dr. Darius Richardson, a maxillofacial surgeon, just right across from the hospital. When he was finishing up to me, he got a call, and there was an emergency case. I think it was a motorcyclist who decided to scrape his cheeks on the pavement or something. Ow. He had to run across there immediately. Well, he would have to drive for 40 minutes unless he moved. Now, let's assume the doctors, a lot of them move. That means for our regular health care, instead of being here, we're all going to have to go there because the doctors had to be moved to be close to the hospital. Again, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, none of this makes any sense. People asking the question, it's who's going to get paid? Where's the follow the money on this? We're talking about $1 billion. If you talk to Kenley and Guerrero, $2-3 billion worth of expenses. Some of it, it seems to me, have already starting to get launched here in some of the plans. And the question is, who's going to get a real big payday helping to participating in $1 billion worth of spend?
Yeah, consider this very quickly before we finish up. If they move the hospital there, that's going to force a lot of the minor surgery centers, the radiologists and stuff that are right now near the hospital to move there. I think there is a rule that in the minor surgery centers, they have to be within a very short distance of a hospital in case there's a complication.
Yeah.
So once they start moving all those, it's not just what the government pays to build the hospital, but they're going to force the medical community to spend probably over $1 billion in moving clinics and support infrastructure for the attending physicians and those that are providing services to the people that need to have the proximity to the hospital, which they currently have.
All right. Well, there is a glimmer of hope on the horizon, and that is because there are a couple of bills that have been presented by Speaker Therese Trelaya, I want to say 12 and 13, that would put the legislature square in front of any decision, any contract, any agreement, any plan for a new medical facility anywhere. And I'm told that it is on the March agenda for the legislative session.
Okay, well, I guess I'm trying to give you my logical reason why that's very illogical, and the old site makes total sense for the expansion of medical tourism, where our current clinics are, where the doctors live. It just looks like we're totally uprooting an existing infrastructure unnecessarily.
I don't disagree with you. 6:55 in the morning. That's Bob. Are you in Saipan right now?
No, I'm heading to the airport. I will be leaving at 8 a.m. this morning.
Safe travels, would you? I'll talk to you when you get home. 6:55 in the morning, 888-8255. Mr. Galaidi is on the line. Buenas and Day.
Hey, Day, Ray. Hey, this is my first time ever talking on your show. I've been trying to fish the number, and I finally found it.
Oh.
Anyways, I just really want to touch some bases. I've been listening to your talk show, and I bounce back and forth. I like listening to talk shows. It gets me up. Anyways, my question here is, I before they even plan to build that hospital, they need to work on themselves first. Because if you look at GMH, how rundown it is, just think about it, Ray. We're gonna go build this hospital. They don't even have a maintenance plan probably in place because they can't even take care of the hospital right now itself. So these are the things that you just don't spend money and then put it on the side. And I noticed the government, it doesn't matter who, whether it's other government agencies, they tend to spend money on buildings, and then they leave it and let it rot down, and then they want to build another building. I mean, you know, St. Anthony's School is one of the oldest schools. Go to that school, Ray, and you see how clean it is, how well maintained it is. You go to our public school, it's all run down. I don't know, Ray. I'm so lost with thoughts, you know. Another thing, other than the subject, you know, how the AG's office are bouncing people around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that that's happening, because the people that were sitting in those chairs before just totally chaos that whole place. I know I was listening to the talk show in K57, and I heard Attorney Pete was like, oh, you know, the attorneys are leaving the AG's office. Well, you know what? Those are the attorneys that sat back and relaxed. They're the ones that lost all the cases.
What is it Dave Lujan referred to as the Camacho dynasty at the Attorney General's office?
You know, I hate to speak it that way, but that's what I thought it was. It is what it is, Ray. And I'm glad that Doug's in there to try to make that fix. And a lot of people are probably, oh, you know, he's so, well, guess what? Now you got to work.
Amen.
We got so much cases that is just sitting on those desks. And what they do is they handpick their cases. That's what it seems like.
Well,
and I'm glad.
I will later on go through a couple of magistrate reports, and I guarantee that. In fact, isn't there a guy they're on the lookout for him right now, and he was out on some kind of a probation deal that they put together, and went right back to committing crimes almost immediately. I think there's so many of those cases out there, I think because there were a lot of old attorneys under that old regime that just kind of looked the other way. Look, I got to get a W here. I got to get a W in my column, so we're going to plea everything down and talk to the judge, and we'll get deferred sentences and reduced numbers and things like that, just so that they can get the W. In the meantime, the community continues to suffer because we've got what is it Doug calls it, catch, release, and reoffend.
Yeah, the catch and release. You know, I mean, it looks like we go fishing and then we let them go, and then we go try to catch them back. Sometimes we can't catch them because they're running all over the place.
I'm glad you found me. I got news coming up here, Mr. Galati. I'm glad you found me.
Thank you so much.
No problem. 888-8255 is the way that you can reach me. If you've got WhatsApp, add us at 797-8255. So if you've got some cool memes that you want to send, or documents that you found, or just something entertaining you want to share with the listeners and viewers, by all means, 797-8255, all right?
All right.
All right, bro. No problem. Happy to hear from you. Always nice to talk to somebody that loves talk radio as much as we do. It's closing in on 7 o'clock in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Coming up, Fox News Live. We'll find out what's going on. You know what the big deal is, or should be the big deal on Fox?
What?
Is you know who just arrived in Palestine, in Ohio?
Donald Trump.
Donald J. Trump is on the ground.
I knew it, man.
He is on the ground. He brought some water. He brought some food. He brought some Fabuloso or something like that so people can start cleaning things up. That's where we need the president, and he's there. It's 7. Here's the news.
President makes a point. On Lisa Brady, Fox News.
To the people of East Palestine and to the nearby communities in Ohio and Pennsylvania, we have told you loud and clear you are not forgotten.
Donald Trump visiting the Ohio town where some residents remain skeptical of assurances about air and water quality after a toxic train derailment earlier this month. The former president criticizing the initial federal response. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, who's faced criticism for not going, now plans to visit the town tomorrow.
Republicans, particularly Bill Johnson, the congressman from this area, says it's too little too late. Almost 3 weeks since the train wreck, and you have people out here complaining of everything from headaches to skin rashes.
Fox's Mike Tobin in East Palestine, where the EPA chief has said the railroad, Norfolk Southern, will be held accountable for cleaning up not only the crash site, but also impacted homes and businesses. A suspect now in custody and facing charges in connection with the killing of Los Angeles Catholic Bishop David O'Connell. He's identified as Carlos Medina.
Paramedics pronounced Bishop O'Connell dead at the scene. He was discovered suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. If convicted, Mr. Medina faces up to 35 years to life in prison.
The LA District Attorney George Gascon says Medina was the husband of a housekeeper who worked for the bishop. The man convicted of killing rapper Nipsey Hussle gets 60 years to life in prison. Eric R. Holder Jr. just sentenced in LA, where the Grammy-nominated Hussle was gunned down in 2019 outside a clothing store he founded. Holder was also convicted of shooting 2 other men who survived. He did not speak at today's sentencing. On Wall Street, the Dow down 83 points at the closing bell, erasing early gains and extending yesterday's sell-off. America is listening to Fox News.
The new Subway series includes one of the most craveable sandwiches of them all, the Subway Club.
Number 12, the Turkey Cali Club is the best with avocado, turkey, and bacon.
The best should come with bacon, turkey, and ham. That's my number 10, the All-American Club.
Number 11, the Subway Club is a proven classic that comes with ham too, plus turkey and Angus roast beef.
I see. Let's start over. Let's talk cheese in the Subway series.
I'm still gonna win this. At Subway, you gotta refresh to be fresh.
A gunfight in a Pittsburgh suburb leaves an officer and the suspect wounded.
Allegheny County Police say Shaheem Cortez Berry was arrested after firing a gun at an officer who responded to a shots fired call. Berry, who was hospitalized with a leg wound, is now facing multiple charges, including attempted homicide, aggravated assault, and making terroristic threats. The officer, whose name was not released, was also taken to a hospital with a bullet wound to his foot. Both are listed as stable. Berry is currently being guarded by officers. He will be taken to the Allegheny County Jail once he is discharged from the hospital. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk joining California's Governor Gavin Newsom to announce a new engineering headquarters in Palo Alto.
California is a tremendous manufacturer as well as a place of engineering and innovation.
Musk saying he's excited about the partnership and to transition the world to sustainable energy as quickly as possible.
It's a point of pride, always has been for me, that Tesla is a California company.
Governor Newsom's office says California has invested more than $3.2 billion in Tesla since 2009.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin, though Musk has criticized the state for over-regulation, moving the company's corporate headquarters to Texas in 2021. Amazon gets a green light for a landmark healthcare deal.
The e-commerce giant will be closing on its $3.9 billion deal to purchase One Medical, the provider of primary care clinics, without a legal challenge by the Federal Trade Commission. The move clears a path for Amazon to substantially expand its healthcare offerings and operate more than 200 physical medical clinics in 26 markets and roughly 815,000 members. The e-retailer agreed last July to acquire One Medical to deepen its presence in healthcare.
Fox's Hillary Barsky and Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
From the largest healthcare network in the Philippines, the Medical City and Guam Regional Medical City bring you world-class healthcare through the Medical City Referral Office. Get access to a diversified portfolio of services and highly trained medical staff during your stay in the Philippines and continuity of care in Guam. If you are looking for a partner on your journey to wellness, take your first step with the best in the Philippines and in Guam with the Medical City. You may visit them at the Rang Care Building in Tamuning or call 645-5645.
Go green, go hybrid. Go to Nanbo Insurance, and your next power bill is on us. Insure your hybrid car at Nanbo and get up to $350 towards your next power bill. That's instant savings for keeping our island clean and green. Nanbo has been providing Guam with over 50 years of reliable and affordable auto insurance. At Nanbo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for details.
This spring, shop on over to the Micronesia Mall and enter to win. Redeem receipts totaling $10 or more. Scratch for a chance at instant prizes from Burger King or Foot Locker. Or receive a grand prize entry form for a drawing on May 6th for a chance to win a new Toyota Tacoma 4x4 SR5 off-road package with lift kit from Atkins Scroll Toyota. 10 lucky runners-up will get $250 gift certificates from Goodwin Travel and Tour for tickets to Philippine Airlines. Shop more, win more at the Micronesia Mall. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more.
Half a day at 7:06. I'm Donna De Jesus. Here's a look at your local news on The Point. Congressman Jim Moylan, along with South Carolina Representative Joe Wilson, are demanding that the Biden administration give clear answers on the Chinese spy balloon issue. Both are members of the House Armed Services Committee. Moylan expressed his shock that the U.S. had monitored the balloon even before it flew over Guam and across the nation. He put it this way: the Biden administration has misled American families regarding the path of the spy balloon, the significance of targets, the disclosure of its origin, and many significant facts, and American families deserve accurate information. Governor Lilian Guerrero said earlier this week that the military briefed her staff on the spy balloon after it had already passed. Meanwhile, Senator Jesse Lujan wants GDOE to take ownership of its facilities at the school level with Bill 48, which aims to hold the department accountable for reporting school inspections. The bill would require the GDOE Deputy Superintendent for Assessment and Accountability to report all school inspections online on a government website to be developed by GDOE, as well as the school website within 30 days of the inspection. Lujan says this increases transparency, which parents and stakeholders deserve. The bill would also require online reporting of GDOE certified teachers to ensure that there is a certified teacher in every classroom. More news after this.
For all your real estate needs, call the professionals at Hoffaday Realty. Jody, Saran, Libby, and Lolita, and they'll take care of you on every step of the real estate process. No worries. Just contact Hoffaday Realty at 588-4232 or 588-HOFFA or email them at hoffadayrealty@gmail.com. They're at 426 Chelon, San Antonio, Suite 204 in Tamuning. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. Hoffaday Realty for all your real estate needs.
Another bill has been introduced to address the lack of affordable housing. Senator Roy Quinante's measure would establish a loan program under the Guam Housing Corporation to cover infrastructure costs. In a public hearing on Tuesday, GHC President Edith Pangilinan says they support the measure with some changes. She says, like other programs already available, there is a lack of money, and the proposed bill does not identify a funding source to administer a loan program. The loan program would be for first-time homebuyers and Chamorro Land Trust leaseholders. And United Airlines has announced a 17% boost in seat capacity from Guam and Saipan to Japan, with new weekly flights to Tokyo, Nagoya, Osaka, and Fukuoka being added. Director of Airport Operations for Asia Pacific, Sam Shinohara, says the summer travel demand from Japan to Guam is looking promising. He adds that with the new summer schedule, United is another step closer to their goal of restoring a full Guam-Japan schedule. United is also adding 2 new trans-Pacific flights out of Japan to provide more convenient and quicker connections to the U.S. The latest flight schedules are available on United.com. And those were your top stories. Back to Ray with weather.
Oh man, I was just writing a note just in case we get lucky and get Barnett on the radio today. I was writing my notes. Asking
you're
him.
feeling lucky, huh?
I'm feeling lucky. Yeah. No, well, he's got the round table tomorrow, but the other question that I have was, how was lunch yesterday? He was a guest of the Chamber
was a
of
Skin
Commerce.
and Bones lunch, Ray.
I'm sure it was not Skin and Bones lunch.
I can never go to those things because they have it like in the middle of the day on a weekday.
They're like at 11 o'clock, and everybody kind of gets in there, and then there's food, and and you're going, okay, what are we eating and listening to? It seems to me, and I've been to I used to be a member of the chamber, and they go, how come you don't go to the meeting? Says these are too long. I got napping here. I got to take care of, and so it was a long. There's this this, and there's a report from so and so and such and such. And then by the time it's time for somebody like a Chris Barnett or a Fauci or whoever it is to speak, then you're in like the food coma. You're leaning back in the chair. You got your hand down your pants. Just going, okay, bring it on, bring it on, bring it on, wake me up. And maybe he did. I don't know. I want to find out how his luncheon went yesterday. 10 after 7 o'clock in the morning. I had a good time. I say very little about it, but I had the opportunity last night to attend as a guest the FBI citizen thing committee that they've got. I was invited by my brother to go and have that, and it was over at the Doucet, and the food was good. And there were a variety of people that likewise showed up as guests, and some of them had actually been a part of the FBI community thing.
Everybody was packing.
Oh God, dude! And it's like everybody.
I can see your weaponry.
Can I just say everybody was printing yesterday? If you didn't have it in the bag,
we see you.
You were printing. I saw right through it. I get to make out name, number, rank, serial number, whatever it is on all the weapons that were in the room last night. But it was a very, very interesting conversation about terrorism, and in particular terrorism in the state of Hawaii. Give us a bunch of things to look out for. It was a really, really well put together event. I did happen to see one senator that was there, Senator Joanne Brown.
Oh wow!
Yeah, she came in and came by and walking around and saying hello to everybody, and she leans over for a kiss, and I grab her hand, I give her the kiss, and I say, "Hey, Senator, I'm down with the caning. I'm just going to tell you right now, you're hearing from a constituent, Senator Brown. I'm down with the caning. So take that, internalize that, put that in your head.
We're down, Brown,
and see what happens here. And there might be somebody listening going, "Come on, Ray, really? Caning, you're okay with that?" And I'm like, yeah, I really, really am. I think I need public-private. I think there needs to be some degree of corporal punishment, and we're going to make you feel the pain.
Pay-per-view, Ray.
Exactly, pay-per-view.
Yes, I would pay.
What a great an OnlyFans for caning. Good idea.
Oh God.
Well, that's what we did. That's what it would end up being. Partly sunny with highs today near 86 degrees. East-northeast winds up to about 20 miles an hour, gusting as high as 28 miles an hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy and overnight lows of about 75 degrees. Partly sunny tomorrow, mostly cloudy tomorrow night. But the big news here is by Saturday, according to the weather forecast, mostly sunny, highs near 88 degrees. Heat index about 94 today. Rip current warnings in effect all weekend long. Sunset tonight is going to be at 6:28. So be on the lookout for that. Friends getting together for drinks. Why not? Thirsty Thursday. We'll go ahead and start the weekend a little bit early. At 7:13 in the Ray Gibson Show, there's news and weather together on The Point.
Celebrating Mess tomorrow, Whopper Wednesday is back. Every Wednesday in March, visit participating Burger King restaurants and say, "I love the Whopper," or "Guaidza si Whopper," and get a free flame grilled Whopper sandwich with the purchase of any large size Whopper combo meal. Top off your meal with French fries or onion rings and a refreshing Coca-Cola, and tell your familia and friends and enjoy your Whopper Wednesday only in March. Available at BK in Hagåtña, Tumon Bay, the Micronesia Mall, and the airport. Since Guam, you rule.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,100 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 671-475-4545, Upper Tumon 671-647-5626, or in Dededo 671-633-4473.
Ray Gibson Show, 7:14. Portions brought to you by our friends over at American President Lines, a global presence with a local home, also being brought to you by Guam Regional Medical City. They are your health care partners.
Morning talk that matters. It's the Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Quarter after 7 o'clock in the morning. It's Thursday, Ray Gibson Show. Programming note, I'm not going anywhere. Normally, for what has become the new normal of the Ray Gibson Show, on Thursdays, I jam at 8 o'clock in the morning, but I no longer need to do that as I am no longer being called for jury duty as a member of Jury Panel J, for which I am unbelievably thankful.
We're going to miss that, me and Donna.
Yeah.
You killed that for us.
Right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And then what did you do with the rest of the day?
I got to go to the Main Street, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got to get the donuts.
The donuts?
And, yeah, the breakfast stuff before it was all gone.
There is something about that, isn't there? You know, all right. So we're the luckiest guys, people in the world, because we're here in the morning, which means we don't have to suffer through drive time traffic in the morning. We're not in that clutch of people that all of a sudden you pull up to about where Woostig Road is up in Didido, and you look at a mile of unbroken traffic in front of you. We don't have necessarily that problem, but there are things that happen in the morning that we don't get to participate in unless he wakes up very, very early. You are not likely to see us in the gym. Unfortunately, and that's something that I'm a little bit jealous of people that get to go to the gym in the morning, because we are not one of them.
It's all right, man.
It's okay?
Yeah.
Dude, you know who I'm following on? I'm sorry, there's other stuff we should probably talk. I'm following a guy, Joey Soul, I think is his name, on Twitter. And he's like the gym guy.
Oh,
but
yeah?
he doesn't go on and talk about, how he's working out and things like that. I'm sure it's in there somewhere in his billions of tweets. But what this guy does is he watches people's posts on social media and will let them know whether they're idiots or not in the gym. And a great example, you don't see it a lot now, but a great example is all of these people that are filming themselves working out in the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
You know what? Get a home gym. According to this guy, get a home gym. There's people that pay for membership that want to use that equipment that you're using right now, but it's taking you 3 times as long because you've got to set up the pose, then you do the exercise, then you run back, take a look at it, at how it looked, and go, oh, that's not the right way. My butt doesn't look good in this shot. Okay, do it again, do it again, do it. And he's basically telling people, stop that. Number one, you're wasting people's time because they want to use that piece of equipment. Do it, get in, get out, and get to the next one. And number two, you're catching everybody else in the gym while they're doing their work. They don't want to be in your video. Yeah. They don't want to be a part of your social ministry, if you will. So, a great guy, but I don't know. There's an offshoot of a conversation about wouldn't it be great if you and I could go to the gym in the mornings?
Oh yeah, you and I.
Well,
together.
Not really. I'm just saying. 717 Ray Gibson Show. You told me there's somebody on the phone. Is it somebody important?
It's Daryl Barnett, my favorite senator, man.
The amazing and incredible.
I watch him work out. Ray.
You know what? I'm getting a whole lot of compliments about Chris Barnett and him being a senator and asking those, quote, uncomfortable questions of folks in the government of Guam. Daryl, Chris Barnett's on the line. Buenas and off a day.
Bananas it is. I feel like if you and Joe were working out of the gym in the morning, you guys would be those dudes wearing shades.
How did you know?
Eyes down, guys. Eyes down.
Eyes down. It's impossible. Have you seen the workout shorts these girls are wearing these days?
You should see the workout shorts I'm wearing.
Well, you know what? 7978255. That's the number for the beam machine. Pictures or it didn't happen, Chris. 7:18 in the morning. How was lunch yesterday?
Pretty good. I actually showed up a little bit late, so I didn't get to eat lunch, and I was given the opportunity to speak before the Chamber of Commerce, and it was great. We had a Committee on Rules meeting yesterday, and it was running a little bit long, and I kind of joked to my colleagues that, if this meeting goes too long, I'm going to miss the Chamber, and some of the Democrats were like, who cares about the Chamber? So,
never mind the economy that provides the taxes that pay your salaries. Forget about all of that stuff. Never all these crazy businessmen taking their own personal money and putting it at risk for the shot at making a couple of bucks in what is arguably the lousiest economy we've seen in a long, long time since Donald Trump was in office, anyway. So tell me a little bit about the rules meeting. There's only a little bit of a write-up in a newspaper this morning. Looks like Senator Therese Terlei's bills that would place the legislature in front of any of those half-cooked ideas to put a hospital in Manila. Looks like those made it to the agenda, right?
Yeah, they did. The rules meeting, it was a lot longer than the press release because there was this debate about a document that was for me that I basically copied for all the members, and there was like internal notes on the document, and a couple of members, I feel like they made a mountain out of a molehill because that internal document. And granted, it was my first rules meeting, and maybe I should have given them a cleaner piece of paper without the words "didn't meet my deadline" on them. But I felt like a lot of the meeting was these guys just ran away with it, and I mean, they were all over me. Procedurally, I feel like, well, no, I don't feel like. I know there's a lot of work I have to do to figure out, you know, how to talk and when to talk with the procedures in these meetings. And I think what happened yesterday was a lot of these career politicians, you know, they know the procedures and they know how to talk, and they just use that knowledge to kind of just run all over me. But I guarantee the next rules meeting I have is going to be way different.
Right on. Well, you know, even Tiger Woods has a coach. I'm sure that there's somebody with a whole lot of institutional knowledge on the workings of the legislature that might be glad to help you out. As long as it's not somebody that seems I can feel a little bit of new guy opposition, number one, but also new guy asking uncomfortable questions and kind of rocking the boat. So the rest of us out here in the voting world want you to continue to do that and screw the establishment. Okay.
Thanks, Ray. Yeah, I got great staff, and honestly, I wouldn't have made it this far without them. Like, I came in with a bunch of big ideas, but, you know, there's a lot of policy work and procedure stuff that I have no idea about. So I'm really grateful to my staff. I mean, I can't thank them enough. And, again, I wouldn't be here without them. But speaking of comfortable truths, I've always been that guy going back to Mr. Governor, and, you know, I'm too old to change. And so when I spoke before the chamber, I kind of do these talks and I forget that they're recording the stuff, and I just let it rip, you know. And it's like I actually went way over the limit, and there was a part where Catherine raised her hand, and I thought she was trying to cue me that I was out of time. And I told her after, I said, "Were you trying to give me a sign like I went too long?" And she was like, "No, I was giving you a sign like preach, brother, preach."
Yes. Well, hopefully you made some new friends out there and got some more support from among the community that are tired of the status quo.
Yeah, I did. I did get some support, and you know, so we're talking about the lieutenant governor at a big meeting. The whole of the Gov Guam is going to be assisting to fix the schools, and talking about acting Soup Judy Wampat, and there's 120 million for fixing the schools. But up at my two Young Guns Elementary School in DL Paris and Jigo, they're actually reaching out to private businesses for toilets and bathroom fixtures because they don't want to wait any longer. And so that was, for me, was the big win. Is I went into the chamber and I said, okay, I'm going to be talking to a bunch of these business folks, and I want to come away with some free toilet bowls. And I did. I came away with a commitment from just a bunch of the different members of the chamber to, you know, they want to give me some toilet bowls and to put it up at the school. So I'm going to follow through with all those commitments. But, you know, I think that again is just our spirit, you know, where others fall short. There's always someone in the community who wants to pick up the slack. I just think it's unfortunate, you know, with this rhetoric out here about fix the schools, but the stakeholders at the schools know that, you know, they don't want to sit here and take leadership's word for it. They're going to do what they have to do and ask who they got to ask to get things done, you know.
Well, then there's that mountain of bureaucracy, the red tape, and the regulations that exist for seemingly so that everybody can answer to it, but nobody will eventually be responsible to see that anything gets done. There's always an opportunity to point a finger and blame cast our way through the situation. In the meantime, kids are enduring just deplorable conditions in the schools. Tomorrow, though, big deal. You and members of the law enforcement community in a round table. A lot of the agenda is online in the newspapers and in press releases. But for our listeners, you know, if you had to break it down, if you only had enough time for a couple of questions of the ranking members of our law enforcement community, what would it be?
I think the first question would be, what are we doing about the meth? I think, and I keep saying this, that a lot of this crime that we're seeing it's being committed by people who are desperately addicted to drugs, and they've gone, you know, they've crossed the line, in my opinion. You know, it's one thing to be an addict and to try and go day to day just finding your stash, but once you start harming members of the community, once you start targeting vulnerable citizens, for me, in my opinion, you cross the line and you're in need of some, you know, correctional treatment. So I guess the big question for me is, what are we going to do about meth? I don't like this idea that we sit back and, you know, because of manpower, resources, or whatever the motive may be, that we sit back and wait for the federal government to come in and clean up, you know, a mess that, you know, is of our own making.
Right, and we allowed it to get this far. Other issues that you're going to be talking to them about, obviously the status of methamphetamines, recruitment and retention of officers seems to be, you know, kind of a perennial excuse. We just don't have enough people on the streets, and it seems like the administration process, as you know, with the Department of Corrections, seems to stand in front, and it seems to impede the process of getting men and women in uniform.
Yeah, so what happened was when I raised all those concerns about the Department of Corrections, basically the director got in trouble with Adelup for, raising those concerns to me. And, I know that the chief of police, there's the same issues with GPD, it's the same issues with, customs and quarantine. And I think we just got to get beyond this idea that, you can't complain to, Senator X because, we don't like Senator X, he's a troublemaker. And just really, take the politics out of public safety. There's no place for politics in public safety. It's not a partisan issue. We're so far behind the curve with keeping our community safe that, we're just trying to accomplish basics and, establish baselines, an adequate level of public safety, if you will.
Is it a question of funding? Are there funding questions, issues with the Department of Public? I was going to say the Department of Public Safety, GPD, Fire Department, et cetera. I mean, are they all clamoring? They can't get anything done because they don't have any money?
I think, Ray, for me, one of the concerning things is just the silence out of Adelup when we talk about crystal meth. And, they talk about treatment, but they never talk about enforcement. And I don't know if they don't want to step on any of their buddies' toes or what the deal is. But if it is money, I mean, I think the means is the process is an issue. But if it is money, that shouldn't be a problem because we got, ARP money coming out of our ears. And we talk about $100 million for the schools. I told the chamber yesterday, I'd love to see $50 million for public safety.
At least. At least chronically. Certainly, they've chronically been underfunded all of these years. I think you're going to have a good time. I think it's going to be one of those must-watch deals on the legislative channel. And just for fun, maybe one of these days, Chris Barnett, while you're having one of those legislative oversights or roundtables, maybe you ought to have the guy in the AV room turn on the comments on your YouTube feed.
Ray, I don't know why the comments are turned off, but I was glad they were turned off for that rules meeting yesterday. But y'all look into that.
Come on.
I just don't want to get stopped by the people who they discovered a lotion that's going to work wonders for you.
727. Chris, always a pleasure. Keep banging heads, buddy. We like it. We support it. And one of these days offline, I don't have enough time for it now, but offline, explain to me why you did not join other members of the legislature.
Oh, yeah.
With the ban on the what is it, the detonation and all of that stuff, the bill that got repealed yesterday.
If I could, I'm sorry, that was actually the first thing I wanted to do. So the reason why I voted no on Senator Duenas' Bill 52 is basically because by repealing that whole section that deals with open detonation, I believe anything unexploded ordnance, whether it's World War II, Vietnam War, Korean War, we got to, in a way, trust the military to make the call that it's emergency and to, detonate it in place. I mean, that's what works. They know what works, right? But by repealing the whole section dealing with open detonation, what we did is we opened it up for the military to basically blow up a whole bunch of stuff that isn't emergency related. And those munitions, those bombs, I mean, the Admiral said it in his own words. We're talking about expired munitions that could be transported that don't necessarily need to be open detonated. And so I felt like by repealing the whole section, we just basically created a wide swath of things that the military can blow up. I'm totally fine with the UXOs, and the Admiral was totally fine with only being able to blow up the UXOs. And I think what he did was he always asked for more than what you want, more than what you deserve. And I just wasn't comfortable with the legislature giving that to the Admiral because it's the people's legislature. I don't think it's the Admiral's legislature. And anytime you got, given our history of naval government, if you got a, military brass coming to the lawmaking body and saying, you got to repeal this, you got to repeal that, I don't think that, it's our job to just take people's word for it. And I feel like a more targeted amendment of the Senator Sabina's public law would have been just as fine. And I had amendments ready to go. But, unfortunately, we declared an emergency session, and I didn't support this trick move that, and he's my vice chair. We get along. I didn't support this trick move that Senator Duenas did where they rushed to the vote without debate. I felt like a measure like this, an emergency session, debate is very important, and that's what we're here for. We're here to discuss these ideas, and I'm just not comfortable with eliminating debate. I get it. Of course, it was time sensitive, but I felt like, we had enough time to address this in a way where the people of Guam are going to be safe. And I don't think that a no vote on Bill 52 means that I don't think the people of Guam should be safe, because I absolutely do.
All right, so we'll pack in your amendments in another version of the bill that I think Sabina had already introduced or tried to introduce.
Right.
All right. I got you. Chris, I got Jerry Roberts is in the studio getting ready for the extra point that we're going to have to move off. I'll talk to you pretty soon. Best of luck tomorrow. We'll be watching.
Thanks.
All right, bro. 888-825-888-TALK. What do you think, Jerry Roberts? Amazing, huh? Might be among a handful of people that came out of the media and actually found themselves doing the people's work at the legislature.
I mean, when you hear him talk, you're hearing him say the things that the average person says.
Yes.
I mean, it's about the people, and it's we need to do this because of the right reasons. And you don't hear many politicians talking about that. It just doesn't happen.
He doesn't have the politician gene, but I got a good enough name to get himself in there and start reworking things and what's the word? How do I want to say this? Push along the idea, disrupt the status quo. We've got to disrupt the status quo. And I hope that there are a number of people at the legislature looking at Tim and how much fun he's having, saying, I want to do some of that as well.
The day when he was elected, I sent him a note. I won't say what was in it. But obviously, what I thought was he's been able to avoid it. And I'm hoping, as a lot of people I've known over the years have gone in there, and it hasn't worked out the way they thought it would. But so far, he's being able to stay clear of the silliness.
I think the first time, and I'm trying not to shine the guy's shoes too much here, but the first time that I was decided that this is somebody that's going to get my support on the program and in the voting booth was when he stood up to Adelup, when he stood up to the Democratic Party.
He's still doing it.
Yeah, I know. But when he did that, and as publicly as he did, putting them in their place and letting them know that, I might be running as a Democrat, but that doesn't mean that I am a member of the Democratic Party of Lou. That was, for me, the sign that this guy was going to be, as I said, disrupting the status quo. Yeah. We've got a disruption on our schedule. We've yacked too much with him. That means we got to hold off on Jerry Roberts in the extra point for just a few minutes. Donna D has got news and headlines this hour, brought to you by Holiday Realty. The number's 588-4232. Yes, theme music there, Real Joe.
Sorry,
588-4232. You're disrupting my status quo, bro.
Yeah, man, that Barnett got me all flustered.
Holiday Realty at gmail.com if you want to hit them up on that. And it's Lent season. You can tell it's Lent because the BK Big Fish Sandwich is back at BK Whopper. 100% Impossible Whopper, which is 100% Whopper, but 0% beef. Pully approved. You rule at BK. Now with news and headlines and information. Here's Donna D. Donna, what happened?
A man wanted in connection to a shooting in Sinajana has been captured. Undercover police officials were able to locate 29-year-old Ray Jr. Guzman through an anonymous tip. The shooting victim told officers he was smoking meth with Guzman last December before being shot in the arm. Guzman was caught on Tuesday and found with meth and a stolen rifle. Meanwhile, search warrants that were unsealed yesterday show 20 pounds of meth and over 4,000 grams of weed were seized in at least a dozen packages sent to Guam in the mail in the first quarter of last year. The drugs were sent from addresses in Washington, California, and Arizona to post office boxes and homes across the island. Federal prosecutors have yet to file charges against anyone. And after complaints of tiny insects and cockroach eggs in the food, Public Health has shut down Denny's in Tamuning. Health inspectors found multiple violations, ultimately giving the restaurant a D. The diner has to pass a follow-up inspection if they want to reopen. And those are your local headlines. Back to Ray.
All right, got you 7:33 in the morning. Really interesting stuff. Now, before we got on with Chris and Jerry Roberts came into the studio, Donna put something in front of me, and I'm sitting there going, gee, I wonder what the contents of this otherwise unremarkable package could be. And then it occurred to me.
Twinkie.
No, it occurred to me that it's Girl Scout cookie season, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Thin Mints.
Thin Mints?
Oh.
Yeah. Thin Mints?
Oh, do you like that?
I love Thin Mints. Oh, my God. There's no wrong way to eat Thin Mints, but as far as I'm concerned, the one right way to do Thin Mints, this will go in the freezer immediately because there's nothing like an ice-cold Thin Mint. It's supposed to be cold. Cold mint. You get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it.
So that's the way it's supposed to work.
So are you a consumer or are you a pusher?
Which is it?
Joanne gave me that.
Okay, Joanne. Joanne gave it to you. Joanne is the pusher.
I don't like minty stuff, so I gave it to you.
Oh, I'm happier for it. Now it's 7:34 in the morning, and we continue to disrupt our status quo and the usual format of the program. We jump now into Jerry Roberts and this morning's Extra Point, brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank.
If you believe that you will never be a leader, primarily because you're not one now, and doubt your employer will ever train you for that role, I have something for you today. Is there a back door of sorts to the world of leadership? We'll answer that question next on the Extra Point.
Take your business to new heights with the United Business Credit Card. Earn 30,000 bonus miles after spending $3,000 within the first 3 months after account opening. Plus, earn 3 times the miles per $1 spent on United tickets through United until April 30th, 2023, and 2 times the miles thereafter. Visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com United Business for more information and to apply for your United Business Credit Card today. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
Hafaday, this is Severina. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
You're not a leader at work, and you don't see leadership in your future. You'd consider it if it was offered, but you doubt that's going to happen. My bosses don't see me that way, you might say. No problem. Millions of leaders have had the same experience. They did their job well enough, and maybe they just didn't bang on their own drum very loudly, calling attention to their skills and potential to advance. Maybe their boss is too preoccupied to notice. If that's the case, when a path to a leadership position opened up, their name may not have been added to the list of possible candidates. They were passed over. You noticed I said millions of leaders have gone through this? Now that means they eventually became leaders. Some finally got their break at work, but others had their first taste of leadership away from the job. That's where I want to focus today, the kinds of activities that teach leadership, or at least give you the opportunity. You can start within your family and organizing an event. In most families, the responsibility for setting up a gathering usually falls to the same people every time. What if you stepped up and volunteered to take on a job like that? You think you'd be denied? What might you learn by doing this? For one, recruiting help and delegating assignments, maybe dealing with internal family politics as you try to get things done. Planning and a little problem solving might also be a part of the package. If you've noticed that your neighborhood has accumulated trash, you might pass on calling the village mayor and instead organize a small group of neighbors to stage a weekend cleanup. Nobody will argue with you if you do the organizing. Perhaps you've got a favorite environmental cause or a project to benefit kids. Who else do you know who cares about the same things that you do and will join up with you? Since it was your idea, it's unlikely that anyone will argue that you handle the details. If you begin to lead, most people are only too happy to let you do it. Another source of leadership opportunity is Guam's large number of nonprofit groups. In almost all cases, they need help in carrying out their mission and goals, even if you're not yet a member. Why couldn't you offer to get involved with a project and maybe eventually lead one? Volunteering is a great way to develop your leadership skills. Here's a side benefit that a lot of people never consider. Many employers will pay membership fees for their workers to be involved with the community as your good efforts reflect well upon them. Another thing is that once you make it known that you're joining a group like that, it likely puts you on the radar screen of your senior leadership, the people who are always on the lookout for the next person who wants to step up and advance. And there's one more thing I want to add to the list, and I've mentioned this one before. It's quite possible that your senior leadership, perhaps the CEO included, has a few small projects that either got started and weren't finished or are waiting for someone to get them to square one. I believe it's worth the effort to find out. The conversation might start this way. Boss, if you've got a small unfinished project that you'd like to see completed and you think I can help, I'd be willing to take it on in my spare time. Now, you might get paid for it, but I'm going to initially offer my free time. I'm trying to build some leadership points, which I know will one day result in a promotion either with this organization or maybe the next one. I don't have to get paid for this work. If it's me, I successfully deliver the project, and then I ask, what else is waiting to get done? What I've done now is to put myself in a position of performing directly for key decision makers, and that is priceless, in my opinion. If you want to rack up leadership points and the opportunity isn't available at work, this is a handful of ideas that might pay off for you. Get transcript number 1265 at guamtraining.com. Click on XP on the menu, and you'll see it at the top of the list. Click the download link, pick one of those ideas, and get after it. That's the Extra Point. Be responsible and make something good happen today. For 93.3, The Ray Gibson Show and First Hawaiian Bank, I'm Jerry Roberts.
Yeah, anybody can get that training. Some great ideas in there, and maybe somebody's neighborhood's going to get cleaned up as a result. 20 away from the top of the hour. Jerry Roberts brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank. Donna's already taken care of news. We got weather and sports. No, we don't do sports around here. And only weather. Traffic. Traffic's coming up. We'll do that next.
JV International Safety Equipment has it all for you. Fall protection, rain gear, traffic signs, speed bumps, custom signs and banners, PPEs, fire extinguishers, plus more. Check them out on Facebook at JV International Safety Equipment Company or visit their website, www.jvisec.com. JV International Safety Equipment, Guam's leader in occupational and environmental safety equipment. Call 688-9524. JV International Safety Equipment, located in Harmon Industrial Park.
Wishing you a happy, healthy, and prosperous new year from your friends at Security Title. As we clean house for the new year, this is an excellent time to make sure the title to your land is also in order. It doesn't matter if you own a ranch in Inarahan, a house in Dedido, or a hotel in Tumon. Keeping the ownership clear promotes peace in the family and can avoid future misunderstandings. When it comes to your family property, call the professionals at Security Title. We are here to help.
All right, let me take a look at what's going on in traffic right about now. Get the map up on the screen. Let's see if I can zoom into some place where there is some. Oh, look, north end of town as usual. I was telling you earlier about the ugly traffic around Ipao, and it's working. It's going to slow you down until you get just past the Waisang song. But then there's intersection traffic that's going to slow you down until you get to the Micronesia Mall. And then there's a little bit of traffic that will slow you down in the upper Tumon area until you get past Kmart. And then it should be, and then you're going to get stuck in some traffic southbound Marine Corps Drive around the ITC building, et cetera, and some of the usual spots. Frankly, doesn't get clean until you're past Agana. So expect some delays as you're making your way in. Just a lot of cars on the road. That's all I'm seeing right now. Not a whole lot happening. Back road to Anderson's running fairly clear. 10 and 15 looking pretty good right now. Seeing some traffic around the intersection at the University of Guam. 4 and 10, not terrible, but there is some traffic there. Now, I'm trying to decide how I want to get to work today. Do I want to go on Route 8 and risk the dogging out traffic over at a variety of locations, or Route 4, maybe just to cost you less traffic, and then the Sinahanya traffic, and then the Ordot traffic? They're both running about the usual here today. Don't see anything major. 8, 10, and 16 busy from about where the post office is right up to Happy Mart. A little bit of bi-directional traffic in front of the gas stations down there. So, yeah, it's a 6 and 1/2 dozen of the other. It is the usual traffic pattern that I'm looking at here this morning. Big Navy and Sumai. Actually, maybe one of the best-looking traffic intersections that I'm looking at right now. Not a whole lot going on. Enjoy your drive down south. 743. There's your right now traffic. This is The Point.
After a long wait, the biggest, juiciest, most flavorful chicken makes its return. The Circle K 3-pound rotisserie chicken is back. Get 3 whole pounds of perfectly seasoned chicken for all your family feasts. And for a limited time, pick up a rotisserie chicken and a Pepsi Family 2-liter soda, the perfect dinner combo, for only $19.95. Available at select Circle K stores. Swing by and take yours home today. Circle K, take it easy.
Looking for a new home or that special place to spend your retirement? Century 21 Realty Management has the place for you. Ladera Towers Condominium in Manila. Luxury living you deserve. Amenities like a gourmet kitchen, a large jacuzzi tub, private lanai with a magnificent ocean view, and 24/7 security. Other amenities, large swimming pool, couple of tennis courts, 3-bedroom condo units are available right now. This is an opportunity you should look at now before they're all gone. Call us now at Century 21 Realty Management, 647-5003, or visit the website, laderatowerguam.com or guamproperties.com.
What? What am I supposed to be doing here?
Sell a car.
Okay, can do. Wait. Do I have it? Am I going to do the thing? Underscore ARIYA. I want to see if I can get a link up on the screen. No, I can't because I suck at this. All right, so it's a bit.ly for Nissan Guam underscore ARIYA. ARIYA. And you might be wondering what that is. It is an all-new, all-electric Nissan. They're here. Not coming. They're here. There's 3 of them in the showroom right now, and at least one that's ready to take you on a test drive. It is the most advanced battery ever, cutting-edge driver assistance features. And when they say cutting edge, they mean it. I took a test drive of this thing on like Monday, and this might have been the most technically sophisticated automobile I've ever been in. First thing that is going to hit you when you start looking at it, there's no grille in the front. There's a big panel, a curvy panel with the Nissan logo, and that's it. Why is there no grille? There doesn't need to be a grill. There's a motor in the front, electric motor, not a gasoline motor, so it doesn't need to have all of that cooling stuff in there. And they take advantage of the space that they're not using for that to just pack this thing in with great electronic devices. Sound system, okay, you better believe the sound system is incredible. It's got this nice little driver's panel that goes all the way across, super customizable. I mean, even the radio is customizable. You can move the buttons around if you want to. Oh, I like to listen to the FM first, so I'm going to make that one the priority. AM way down here, satellite way down there. We're going to put Bluetooth right next to the FM. You can customize all of that. Up to 389 horses, instant acceleration. Direct drive, baby. 4.8 seconds to go from 0 to 60, and you can get up to 304 miles on a single charge. More than 3 round trips around the island. I know everybody's got a feeling one way or the other about electric vehicles, where the future is, all of that stuff. Go, take a look, take a test drive, embrace the future with NissanGuam.com.
Getting you back to the talk faster. It's the Ray Gibson Show.
All right, so one of my favorite things about the Frontier that I've got from Nissan has been updated and improved in the Aria. And that is the parking assistant, right? So, the Frontier is a big ride, right? And one of the cool things is it's got cameras and sensors everywhere. This is the Frontier. And there is a way that when you start parking the car, it doesn't just give you the lines.
Wow, so even a woman could park it?
Oh, man, I'm telling you. It depends on whether they're in their prime or not. But it has this. It's got this image. It's like a top down, where you're looking at the car from the top down, and you can see the lines behind you. You can see the poles or whatever behind you. You can see what's happening to the right and left and the front. And it's available all the time, which is absolutely awesome. You got to try it. Go for a test drive. NissanGuam.com. 7:47 in the morning. Ken LG, I see you there, but I got to talk with Senator Chris Duenas right now and congratulate him on behalf of Governor Lulian Guerrero for moving forward with the detonation ban bill. Looks like she's going to sign it.
Yeah, Alpha Day, Ray, and Real Joe, and Donna D. Yeah, actually, she gave me a call yesterday, so we talked it over, and she indicated to me that she'll be signing it, and that's in the news now. And I think it's definitely the right move, and so I appreciate her for appreciating us for what we did.
All right. Well, like I said, we can move the doomsday clock back a little bit because it doesn't look like there's going to be any conflagration between the Adelup and the legislature on this. And I'm thinking maybe she could use a couple of favors from the high command now that we're trying to get a lease on that property in Manila. You think there might be a connection?
Well, I certainly know that there was a certain amount of strain in federal relations over this issue. I mean, it's a lot bigger than what it's made out to be. There's a lot of moving parts, and U.S. EPA. One of the things I mentioned to the governor yesterday, and I know this was in discussions with her and Admiral Nicholson too. Is I mean, they might still be on the verge of taking away primacy, which basically is giving way to EPA on some of the regulations here in terms of co-managing some of this stuff, and that would be bad for Guam. That would be bad for Guam. That would be a big setback, in terms of that type of a movement, and it would really kind of put us back in terms of our co-equal relations on these type of issues of trying to manage our environment, right? I just can't make the military folks, particularly, sins of the past are the sins of the past. But I tell you, this admiral has done everything. I think he's basically spent the last 6 weeks just in meetings and working to, bring the sensibility to this issue. But he's always made sure that there's a full understanding. They are absolutely willing to come to the table and work through and show how they're demonstrating all the environmental things that they're doing on base to mitigate any issues. And, they invited us there. And so there really is, their effort is, they're a modern military that understands the sins of the past, and they want to make sure everything's safe for everybody on Guam.
Well,
so I think that, we need to keep that relationship where we don't start getting stuff pulled away from us because we're not working in a reasonable fashion.
Right. Unfortunately, there's enough people around here writing editorials and putting together paperwork that continue to dwell on that and not necessarily recognize the work that they continue to be doing, especially the environmental stewardship work. You and I both know people that work on the ground in those capacities and know the kind of strain that they're under when something is found in these construction projects. You got a bulldozer over here, and all of a sudden unearths something that looks like it is culturally, historically significant, and then the work stops on that until all of the teams can be brought in to figure out how they're going to mitigate it. And they've got a number of different completely acceptable mitigation plans. But then, again, that's just me. We talked a lot about that particular measure. You were able to get the emergency session going. I spoke with Darrell Chris Barnett a few minutes ago, and he had some interesting comments that he would like to see moving forward on restrictions, I suppose, that the Admiral says that he doesn't necessarily have a problem with in other legislation. I know Senator Sabine has introduced other legislation. Do you intend to support that if it doesn't get in the way of the work of the EOD?
Yeah, I think we have to, now we got the luxury of time, right? We just started this term. We're not doing this in December, just before the new term coming in. Of course, and they're willing to put everything on the table. There's no problem with that. What we have to be careful about, Ray, is, we all have to come to the table and sit down and put our true intentions on the table. If we're trying to, legislate, not mitigate, and what we're trying to do is set up traps to where it really starts to erode the ability of this construction and the ability of this buildup to go forward, then I'm going to back off of that kind of stuff, because that can't be the intent. If the intent is to truly make sure that we're good partners and good stewards, and we understand that this buildup is going forward, it's good for Guam, it's good for our people, it's good for our safety, I'm good with that. But here's what I'm trying to say, Ray, on this potentiality on this bill too, right? What it could have meant too going forward is the military has to also manage its own inventory of explosives that they need to use to train and to do what they do. They're doing all of that under the 2023 EPA regulations, the most modern ability to get rid of those munitions as they have to. Either they expire or they may have not exploded completely. There's things that they got to do to manage what they do too. So we got to make sure that we're actually not trying to put impediments from that base to operate. As long as everything else is on the up and up, and it's really just truly making sure that we work through these things and be the best stewards that we can be of the environment, I'm good with it. And by the way, let's do that outside the fence too, because we got a lot of issues here in our own front yard. So let's not make these guys, let's make sure they do it. Let's make sure we do it.
Don't disagree, and we can talk about people and their motives, some hidden, some right out there in public for everybody to see. 7:53 in the morning. There was one other issue that I wanted to talk to you about, and that was the additional dwelling measure that you introduced. But there's something tastier in front of me now. Were you at the rules meeting yesterday at the legislature, and what can we anticipate on the agenda? It's not very, very clear just yet.
Can I do the ADU really quick?
I'm sorry, what? Yeah, you can do the dwelling. Okay. Yeah, you can.
Okay, because the people of Guam need to know this. Tony Atta and I introduced that bill in the last legislature. There was a few things we needed to tweak. I think this one is the sweet spot.
Yeah.
People of Guam, please understand, this is an affordable housing initiative. If you have a single-family dwelling right now, and you're going to comply with all the setbacks and all the regulations for sewer systems and everything else, or what's on your property, you can now build, if this bill passes, a studio unit up to one bedroom, certain amount of square footage next to your house, so that either you move into that so that you and the multifamily dwelling have some sort of privacy, or maybe mom and dad want to move into that because they no longer want to clean that huge house and they'll rather have you have the big house. So to kind of bridge the gap between now and construction costs maybe coming down and interest rates in the future, we could try to help people have a little bit more room on their property and have a unit that can be fully equipped with a kitchen, and all those amenities.
What we used to call a mother-in-law suite. I think they still call that in the realty business. All right. Well, I think it's a great idea. I've taken advantage of building extensions on my property as well. But you're not necessarily talking about just an extension on the property. You're talking about an additional dwelling on that, say, quarter acre, half acre.
Right. And then of course eventually there's a provision in there that allows them to, if you're now in this house and for some reason everybody's been able to move out and get a house, there's an opportunity for you to go and apply a GLUC to turn this into a rental unit, which I think is a great thing too.
The more bedrooms that we got in this community, the better. Although I think there are steps being taken by the Admiral and by the Department of Defense here that are going to have some interesting impacts on the community here. You know about the Ocola change, that the drop in the Ocola monies that the military members are going to getting to the tune of about 12%. We are already seeing policy at work on the base here, where if you want to go live off base, you can pay for that yourself until we've got 90% of the units on base that are already occupied. I have not yet talked to anybody in the real estate game on whether or not that is impacting any of the potential rentals yet.
Yeah, the last economic forum that I went to, that's a long way away, Ray. There's such a shortage on housing. They're implementing that, but there's no way that's going to be in effect for a while. The amount of contractors that they have coming, the amount of military that's going to be starting to move in over the years as the base progresses and the like, and just the ancillary services required under federal programs. The professionals say right now that's years away, more than likely. So we don't see that impact in the coming years.
Oh, so what you're saying is there's a very good chance that the house next to mine that has been refurbished and renovated to the tune of probably about $25,000-$30,000, probably going to be occupied by a military family.
I would absolutely anticipate that, and you should anticipate it as well. Yeah.
I hope they like my music because I put speakers on that side of the house. 757 and change. All right. So tell me about rules yesterday. Did you go?
I did. And, there was a little bit of back and forth because the original document that was put in front of us, unfortunately, it was supposedly an internal document, but it was the only one we had to work off of, showing the bills and appointments available, for the session. And on the header of the bills that were there, the 3 bills that were there, it said, these bills have not met the core requirements, coming on rules requirements for placement. So it was an internal document supposedly that was being circulated so that they would make sure they did make it by the time the rules meeting. So we did, after an objection, we did a simple procedure of let's bring down a document that doesn't say that and that these are eligible, and then so we move forward, so it's moved out. But what we're going to be dealing with is, of course, that issue with the Narcan capability of making sure that we set that up, that the police officers and other frontliners have the training and start using the law changes so that they can use that antidote Narcan to fentanyl overdoses. As you know, fentanyl is probably already here. Most people say that. And so we might see these overdoses from time to time. And frontliners and others need to be trained up on making sure they, eliminate any liability, but administer that Narcan to save lives. The other 2 are the measures by the Speaker to, mandate the legislative approval past 5 years on leases, particularly that's aimed towards the medical campus.
Yes.
As well as the other bill that would require legislature's approval too, I believe, on the signage of any lease agreement. And so that's going to be interesting given the fact that the governor states that they're ready to sign a lease in the coming days or weeks. So
working as quickly as she possibly can to circumvent the legislature again.
Yeah, well, that's going to be an interesting wrinkle if that happens. So I'm not, it's going to be a lively discussion.
Is it possible that Therese might be moved by this morning's headlines to call an emergency meeting?
Well, my understanding is she's currently attending to a family matter, and she's not. That's why we have the acting speaker in place with acting speaker Tina Muñoz-Barnes. So I would have to say, that's not it's not a private. It's noticed that she's off island, so I don't know that she'd be back in time to do that. So I can't predict it.
This could be one of those missed opportunities. You gotta watch carefully what happens and keep an eye on all the moving parts. Chris, I got to run. I'll see you pretty soon. You have a great day.
All right, thanks, Ray. Take care.
All right, buddy. 888-8255, 888-TALK. One line already occupied. Ken, hold on a second. We got to get through Fox News and local news, and then we got nothing but time for you because I'm not going to court today. Or ever again. It's 8. Here's the news.
Canceled again. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Another big winter storm getting the blame, dumping heavy snow on parts of the upper Midwest.
In Minneapolis, they're going through blizzard conditions on and off the Dakotas, Montana, 2,000 miles from Montana to Maine. This system just fires through.
Fox Weather's Robert Ray in Lansing, Michigan, where they're getting bands of ice. President Biden, who's on his way back from Poland, tweeting that he was briefed earlier and that the powerful storm is being closely monitored. During strong thunderstorms in Arkansas, just getting word that a small plane has crashed, killing all 5 people on board. The twin engine went down outside a 3M plant in Little Rock, just south of Bill and Hillary Clinton National Airport. The FAA and NTSB investigating. The former president visiting the site of a toxic train derailment in Ohio.
You are not forgotten.
President Trump meeting with local, state, and federal officials in East Palestine, Ohio, and bringing thousands of gallons of cleaning supplies and thousands of bottles of water, telling the region.
We stand with you, we pray for you, and we will stay with you in your fight to help answer and the accountability that you deserve. We'll have that accountability. It'll all be out there very clearly.
That amid political finger-pointing and criticism over the Biden administration's response.
Fox's Jeff Manasso, the EPA chief, vowing to make the region whole, while Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg now plans to visit East Palestine tomorrow. Just getting word that Trump's daughter Ivanka and son-in-law Jared Kushner are being subpoenaed by special counsel Jack Smith. The New York Times reporting it's in connection with the Capitol riot. Smith was appointed in November to oversee 2 Trump-related investigations, also including his handling of classified documents. Trump has since announced another run for president. America is listening to Fox News.
JV International Safety Equipment has it all for you. Fall protection, rain gear, traffic signs, speed bumps, custom signs and banners, PPEs, fire extinguishers, plus more. Check them out on Facebook at JV International Safety Equipment Company or visit their website, www.jvisec.com. JV International Safety Equipment, Guam's leader in occupational and environmental safety equipment. Call 688-9524. JV International Safety Equipment, located in Harmon Industrial Park.
This Valentine's Day, give them the Galaxy, a Samsung Galaxy smartphone. For a limited time, when you activate a new account with the purchase of a Samsung Galaxy S22 on HPO, you can get a Samsung S21 for free. Buy one for yourself and get one for free. How cool is that? Come into GTA today and find out how you can give them the Galaxy. Free Samsung S21 must sign up for 2-year unlimited plan. Terms and conditions apply. Visit gta.net for more information. GTA, we start with you.
A debate about banning a book heats up in a Northern California school district.
Parents and community members joining a San Ramon Valley Unified School Board meeting to discuss objections to Gender Queer, a memoir, a book with LGBTQ themes.
Going after kids' hearts, minds, and souls with stuff that neither their parents want, nor is it appropriate for those kids.
Mike Arata speaking to Fox's KTVU News in the Bay Area.
It's unfathomable how we could be here in this nation, in this day and age, talking about banning books where kids see themselves represented.
Others like Anurata Gupta join the author Maya Kobabe's view that all kids should feel represented.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. On this Ash Wednesday, Pope Francis urging people to cast off what he calls the dictatorship of heavy agendas and superficial needs. In a homily earlier today, saying Lent is the time to drop the pretense of being self-sufficient. Filming hasn't started yet in the final season, but fans will have to prepare to let go of a hit Netflix series.
Stranger Things star David Harbour sounds ready to focus on the future after playing Jim Hopper since the Netflix series launched in July of 2016. Harbour, who starred in the Christmas film Violent Night and the streamer's upcoming film We Have a Ghost, told Discussing Film in an interview that at one point he assumed he would never want Stranger Things to wind down. However, he has since come to terms with the show, from co-creators Matt and Ross Duffer having had a successful run ahead of its 5th and final season. He said, "Now Now we're almost 9 years from filming the first season, and I think it's time for it to end. But it is, of course, very bittersweet. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
A mixed finish on Wall Street. The Dow down 84 points, but still finishing over 33K. The NASDAQ finished higher. And Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Always here to help you. This island is our home. Through the years, we've been a friend to the neighbors we have known. Now we're banking on the future. Services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
This spring, shop on over to the Micronesia Mall and enter to win. Redeem receipts totaling $10 or more. Scratch for a chance at instant prizes from Burger King or Foot Locker. Or receive a grand prize entry form for a drawing on May 6th for a chance to win a new Toyota Tacoma 4x4 SR5 off-road package with lift kit from Atkins Scroll Toyota. 10 lucky runners-up will get $250 gift certificates from Goodwin Travel and Tour for tickets to Philippine Airlines. Shop more, win more at the Micronesia Mall. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Your local news is brought to you by Nambo Insurance. Skip the line, pay online. It's fast, easy, and secure. Visit nambo.com for more information.
Half a day, it's 8:06. I'm Donna De Jesus with a look at your local news on The Point. GPD needs the public's help in locating 34-year-old Vance Jared Bomba and 34-year-old Conan James Chamberlain, wanted in connection to separate burglary investigations. Bomba is wanted in connection to an attempted carjacking, multiple motor vehicle thefts, burglaries, and other thefts. He was last seen in the Machechi area near Chandia Street in Dedido. Chamberlain is wanted in connection to incidents of motor vehicle thefts, burglaries, and other thefts. He was last seen in the West Nandez Street trails in Dedido. The wanted posters can be viewed on KUAM's website. Anyone with information is asked to call 911 or CIS detectives through GPD dispatch at 475-8615. Meanwhile, Senator Chris Barnett spoke to the Guam Chamber of Commerce at the Westin yesterday about fixing Guam's drug crimes, failing public school facilities, and pandemic learning losses that require uncomfortable but necessary conversations. Regarding GDOE, Barnett says it has come to a point where it's a perfect storm of government neglect, mismanagement, and lack of dedication. He adds that public education and public safety are far behind the curve. Barnett says the unchecked meth epidemic has been a major factor for the crime on Guam, but there has not been a strong education and awareness campaign similar to the war on ice in the 1990s. He points out that drug lords got rich during the pandemic. He notes that it seems the local government has kind of checked out when it comes to dealing with criminality. More news after this.
Go green, go hybrid. Go to Nanbo Insurance, and your next power bill is on us. Insure your hybrid car at Nanbo and get up to $350 towards your next power bill. That's instant savings for keeping our island clean and green. Nanbo has been providing Guam with over 50 years of reliable and affordable auto insurance. At Nanbo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for details.
The first Rules Committee meeting of the legislature got off to a rocky start with a dispute emerging over procedures. The meeting began with questions about a document indicating that none of the bills to be considered met the committee's own submission deadline. Senator Joe San Augustine says if the deadline wasn't met, there are no bills for the session. Senator Chris Duenas suggested to either recess or correct it. But others like Senator Telo Taizagui and Rules Committee Chair Senator Chris Barnett point out that it's more an internal process and not a formal rule. After a short recess, the Rules Committee released another document indicating the bills in question did meet all the requirements. But Senator Tom Fisher says the Rules Committee has injected chaos into the process. Several bills, including one to address fentanyl overdoses and full transparency from the Medical Campus Committee, were placed on the agenda. The date for the next legislative session will be announced by the Speaker. And GPD will be sitting before the legislature's Public Safety Committee tomorrow afternoon to discuss a variety of topics addressing crime on island. Police Chief Stephen Ignacio and other leaders with the police force will participate in a roundtable discussion. Public Safety Committee Chair Chris Barnett says the reality is that people are afraid and angry, and it's the government's duty to make sure the island is safe for all to prosper in. Barnett adds that drugs are the root cause of the crime, so they need to take swift action to put meth suppliers behind bars. The topics of discussion will include the status of meth response and strategy, recruiting and retaining officers, use of K-9 units at the port, and police corruption. And those were your top stories. And now back to Ray with weather.
Are you sure? That's it? No, Donna's been making noise for many different reasons. Maybe because she ate one of those Thin Mints and can't get the minty thing out of her throat. Anyway, 8:10 in the morning. We'll scrounge up some weather here. Weather theme, thank you very much. Partly sunny, highs near 86 degrees. East-northeast winds today up to 20 miles an hour. Might see some gusts up to 25 miles an hour, so be on the lookout for all of those kinds of things. I want to see if I can take a look at the traffic gizmo and see if things have settled down on Guam's roadways just yet. Isolated showers in the forecast for tomorrow under partly sunny skies. Oh, my God, I just realized tomorrow's Friday. Ow! Oh my God, I just realized it's after 8 o'clock on a Thursday and I'm still here. I didn't have to go to jury duty today. And you're going, is he going to talk about that forever? Yes. Yes, I am. I'm so happy to be here with you instead of over there. They're nice people. Don't get me wrong. They brought food. It was awesome. And I was able to get, from Sudoku level like 1. I think I'm a Sudoku level. I'm comfortable now with Sudoku 3s. I'm not quite to the 4s just yet. So if you pick up a newspaper around here and if the Sudoku is still in there, guarantee it's 4. The rip current warnings in effect today. Sunrise was at 6:41. I can get this image up on the screen. Some beautiful images of sunrise this morning from over at Pirates Cove. And I gotta say, I had a good time last night over at Deduce with those FBI guys.
Yeah.
But I did not realize until about 7:30 or so how great the sunset was last night.
Oh, yeah, it was beautiful,
I got some great stuff here, some great sunsets from last night. The sky apparently did that go red thing. And unfortunately, I missed out on that. But like I said, I was with some groovy people, and apparently sunrise this morning over on the eastern side of the island was absolutely gorgeous. Let me get some of these shots here so you can see what a beautiful and blessed Thursday it's going to be as we made that approach from over at Pirates Cove. Sunset tonight will be at 6:28. You think it'll do it again? Only one way to find out, and that is to be out of doors about 6:28 tonight. 8:12 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. The other Governor Leon Guerrero next.
KFC's Lent menu is filled with so many seafood options, it's enough to keep you going for the entire Lenten season. They're all here. Popcorn shrimp, fish fillets, shrimp and crab Killiquin wraps, and our famous KFC shrimp burger. And now you can mix and match chicken and fish in both 6 and 12-piece family meals with sides and biscuits. KFC's Lent menu is available for a limited time at all KFC restaurants and for delivery at KFCGuam.com or WhatsApp 300-3278. KFC, it's finger-licking good for Lent.
Guam Regional Medical City is the center of excellence for general and minimally invasive surgeries like colonoscopy, dialysis and vascular access, gallbladder, skin and soft tissue, gastrointestinal tract, hernia repair, spleen, select liver and pancreas diseases, upper endoscopy, and more. Schedule your appointment with GRMC today by calling 671-633-GRMC. That's 671-633-4762. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
8:13 Ray Gibson Show brought to you by APL American President Lines, a global presence with a local home, as well as Security Title, home of Kim and Ron. A lot of people saying, well, is it Ron and Kim? No. Actually, Kim is she is the figurehead, if you will, of this vast organization that does all kinds of things very, very well. Title searches, yeah, we can do that. Escrow questions, we can answer every single one of them. In fact, for virtually every real estate transaction that I've been a part of, somebody from Security Title was there at the signing. All right, that's how important they are to the process. Should be your second phone call once you got the deal, working with your real estate folks and the buyers accepted an offer, something like that. Make sure your next call is to Security Title to take things all the way home for you. It's 8:14.
Rediscover Talk Radio here. Your FM News Talk Superstation. This is The Point.
8:14, a lot of different conversations that we've had here this morning. Among them include conversations about the governor's medical campus lease that looks like it's close. And that has got to be putting a little bit of pressure on folks over at the legislature, in particular, Therese Terlai, who introduced legislation that would make it so that any lease for any medical campus anywhere would need to get the blessings, approval, and work coordination with the 37th Guam legislature. But what happens if the lease gets signed before the legislature is able to act on that measure? And they're going to need 10 people to act on that measure. Otherwise, it ain't going to go anywhere at the governor's office. But we had that conversation, folks online talking about benefit friends till there's no more benefits. Nick says the problem with Guam, they don't use their heads. They think using their he says, common sense, hospital, Mangilau, check who's going to get paid, asked Colin. Follow the dead presidents. Duh. The real focus is who stands to gain a ton of money. And then Jeff Pleadwell with an interesting couple of comments. Power plant should be left in Petey. Hospital should be left in Oka. All right, that's interesting stuff here. 8:15 in the morning. I wonder if that's what Kenley and Guerrero wanted to talk about.
Yeah, to a degree. I mean, what the governor is telling us is either fundraising she did for her campaign came with such a high price that we're going to spend $700 million to build a hospital on free land that Washington, D.C., which arguably is more expensive land than Guam, can build a hospital for $300 million. So either the political obligations are so onerous or our contractors are so incompetent that it's going to cost us $400 million to build what 20 other hospitals were built for in the mainland in the last 5 years for $200 to $300 million.
Yeah.
So that's why we need legislative oversight, because this governor has a history of, shall we say, chasing loopholes to the advantage of politically well-connected insiders. I was going to have to slide that in there somewhere, right?
Yeah, well, it's all right. It wouldn't be a phone call with Ken unless we had that, or something pork barrel or whatever. But I hear what you're saying, and I'm hoping that there is a much broader community conversation about this, because to the degree I have yet to talk to anybody in the actual medical profession. I mean, doctors and nurses that think it's a good idea. And never mind everybody else in all the allied fields.
Yeah, neither have I. Not a single person I've talked to, with the exception of a few senators and new senators, are in favor of that location. So that says a lot right there. The only people in favor of that location are a few politicians.
Well, watch and see which.
They're trying to keep. That's why they're trying to keep it out of the legislature, because with legislative oversight, we'll see more people having the ability to weigh in, because like all these bogus committees and meetings and task forces that you risk your life as a citizen to attend, that's not giving the public a chance to weigh in. The public hasn't had a chance to weigh in at all on this effort, and the governor has seen to it, and she's trying to keep it that way. The closest we did was the hearing,
public hearing,
Senator Terlai.
Public hearing last month.
Yeah, and the sentiment was overwhelming against that location.
They know better. Politicians, Adelup knows better. Okay, Ken, 8:18. If that's not what you wanted to talk about, well, I got a bigger name online too, so I got to push this along. What did you call about?
That was what I was calling about. We need to make sure that Chris has the power to get that bill onto the voting as soon as possible. I understand Teresa's off island. I'm concerned about that. I'm thinking, just like you were talking with Chris about, the possibility the governor is going to use this as an opportunity to do an end run to make it harder for people to go back and correct this after the fact.
Yeah. Don't disagree. We'll obviously we're going to watch and see how this plays out. What will be interesting is if we can get it on the floor of the legislature, who of the Adelup 6 are going to turn their backs once again on the people of Guam and side with the Democratic Party of Adelup.
Yeah, that's what this will be a litmus test for.
Absolutely.
Who supports ad lib and who supports the people.
8:19 in the morning. Ken, I appreciate you calling back. You have a fantastic rest of the day, and enjoy the idea that I'm not leaving until 10.
Okay, I will.
All right, buddy. 888-8255, 888-TALK. I just got my hands on this in the email this morning. It's an announcement from the Department of Agriculture about an outreach event that's going to be taking place in beautiful downtown Guam. And the lady that knows everything about it is our brand new territorial veterinarian, Dr. Mariana Turner. Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Is this the first time we've talked?
To my recollection, yes, I believe so.
Welcome to the Ray Gibson Show. It's a delight to have you online. There's a lady that took over for my favorite horse doctor, and that's Dr. Tom Poole, who has been a territorial veteran since Jesus was doing overnights and finally got out from under that job, giving it, I'm told, into the capable hands of Dr. Mariana Turner. Tom has said some very nice things about you.
Awesome. Thank you. He will probably still be your favorite horse veterinarian because that is my least favorite species. So.
Oh, my God. Well, I don't have one. Well, no, that's actually, that's kind of an inside joke among us friends because oftentimes some of the best conversations I've had with Tom have to do with people medicine and people diseases. But all the boys in the Rotary Club says, what does he know? He's a horse doctor. But he's actually got a few other skills that most people don't know about. But at any rate, I wanted to, first of all, welcome you to the gig as the territorial veterinarian. Where'd you go to school? How'd you get this? How'd you line up this job?
Yeah, so I grew up on Guam, and I left when I was 16, finished up my high school out there in California, and so I went to UC Davis for my vet school, and then I was out there for a little over 5-6 years or so, but would still come back and visit family, and I was always involved in shelter medicine back in the States, back in California. And I swear, every time I came home, I'm like, there's more dogs. There didn't used to be dogs in the parking lot of Kmart. Like, where are these puppies coming from? And so it just became I want to come back and be with family. And then also, why don't I do something in a community that, like, raised me, basically, instead of this town that I happen to live in California. So
that's nice.
So glad to be back, yeah.
Well, the topic of stray dogs, I don't know how old you are, and you don't have to tell me, but I think it's been around a lot longer than you have, and I appreciate the work that's being done right now. Is there a holy grail answer that you have about controlling the number of strays that we have here?
Right. Well, there's not a single answer, and so that's why we have to have this multi-pronged approach to it, because it's not just spay and neuter. It's spay and neuter, yes, so we can control the influx of new animals, but it's also promoting responsible pet ownership and getting the education out there on what a responsible pet owner looks like, as well as making sure Guam actually has some pretty strong animal welfare laws in place already. So now we're getting the animal control officers in place to enforce those laws. But honestly, the biggest part is going to be the education, which is why, our office is really pushing. We want to do these outreach events. We want to promote people being more responsible pet owners. And I'm hoping that it leads into something more into getting into the schools and being able to be face-to-face with the kids and teach the future generations, because that's really how you change it.
Take the dogs with
forever.
you. Take the dogs and the cats with you to the schools. And then when these kids, who as close as they get to an animal, might be a dog chained to a tree in the backyard, saying, okay, I have a pet, and then put them in front of a dog that is clean and smells like it just came out of the doggy daycare with the beauty spa and all of that stuff. That's what responsible pet ownership looks like. See the collar, see the tag on it, so you know it's already got its shots. Let the kids feel around for the bump with the little chip on the inside of it. Let them see the scars where we took out some of the puppy making parts, so that this dog is going to have a long and healthy life, but it isn't going to be contributing to the boom that we've got in stray animals.
Exactly. And the other part of that, I've actually recently, because of course I'm doing like tons, I've done this stuff before, but I'm still doing tons of research. What's the newest? What's the latest and greatest? And something I've been reading a lot about recently was, actually controlling rubbish and garbage and stray animals' access to things like that, because that's going to pull them into an area is, when the garbage doesn't get picked up or it's piling up somewhere, well, then that becomes a food source for them. And so that's something that I've actually just recently started to realize, we need to kind of get that message out there a little bit more, that the more that we're basically keeping our island clean, the less resources there are for the stray animals.
Good idea. Good idea. I think you just described my backyard, though.
Oh, sorry.
It's not junk. It's just that I have a long time habit of tossing leftovers out in the backyard. As a result of that, I've got I'm generally the Grand Central for stray cats that know there's always a morsel of some kind or another out in the back of the house. I don't technically own those animals, do I?
Well, if you've been feeding them consistently, then technically, yes, you are.
I didn't name them yet. I haven't named them yet. It's just Black Cat and then there's Sleep Under the Car Cat. That come
and those are names. Those count as names.
Hang out at my house. There's a quote here in the press release that came out. The Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration is working to change the way we view pet ownership in our island. We believe that extensive and comprehensive education and outreach in our villages will help us with this change. Doc, we're new friends here, so I want to make my new friend an offer. I've got 3 radio stations here. I got The Point, and then there's Boss next door, and then there's Star 101 next door as well. And we've got just a ton of people that listen to us. We're Pika's best radio stations, Pika's best jocks and stuff. I'd be more than happy to, if you want to do some research, have your artificial intelligence write a few scripts about pet ownership and some of the things that we need to do to be responsible pet owners. I'd be more than happy to run some PSAs for you on our stations.
Oh, I'm going to hold you to that.
Oh, you can come in.
And I'll get it to you.
You can write them. You can come in and voice them, and we'll take care of all the production. If you like, and if they come out really good, just because it's fun, we'll send it to the other radio stations so they can run them if they want to.
Cool. Awesome. I will definitely. That's also been on my list. We need to get some PSA out there. And actually, that's part of, because Gain did receive $450,000 a year for the next, well, now it's 4 years, but it started last year. And part of that was a big PSA push to get this information out there. Right now, it's a little bit on the back burner because, one, we got the SNP clinic going. That was step 1. Step 2 was getting new kennels up at Gain. So we're going through the arduous task of getting the construction going right now is where we're at, but the PSA was next on the list for that. But yeah, that just speaks to, they really are, the administration really is putting efforts toward this, and then we're the boots on the ground to get it done. So
well, let me help.
We're running in all different directions.
Let me help you pull on that rope. It's the thing that I can give away, and that's airtime, so you can use all that money that they got in grants and whatever to actually do that boots on the ground stuff. We'll run the ads for you for nothing. 8:27 in the morning. On the SNP clinic, like I said, there's an outreach event going on in Telefofo starting at 8 o'clock at the gym on Saturday morning. What do folks need to bring with them, and what services can they receive for their dogs and cats?
So this is our Animal Health Division Responsible Pet Ownership Outreach event. And what we do there is we offer rabies vaccinations, microchipping, as well as starting the pet license process. And so you need to bring your pets. We do offer these services. The rabies is $10, the microchip is $10, and then the pet license is $5.
Right.
So bring your cash with you. We don't have credit card, unfortunately for us, but cash or check. Bring your pets on a leash or in a carrier, preferably, just so that things don't get too crazy. And that's what we'll do. We'll get them. If your pets already have their current rabies vaccine done at one of the local vet clinics, you can bring the rabies certificate with you. We do need to see the paperwork so that we can get the pet license, because that's really the goal of these outreach events, is to promote people people to license their pets. Because that is mandated by Guam law. All dogs and cats over 6 months of age do need to be to have a pet license.
Yeah, we're going to need to incentivize that. For me personally, I don't know that I'd take that additional step of getting the pet license, regardless of what is or is not mandated. You're gonna have to give show your cat's registration, your dog's registration, a license, and you can get a free cup of coffee at a place, or buy one get one free at KFC. You know what I mean?
Right,
you got to incentivize all of that. We'll have a meeting. You'll make me the CEO, and we'll get everything all straightened out. Dr. Mariana Turner, it is an absolute pleasure meeting you by voice. I've been lurking on your Facebook page, so folks, if you want to know a little bit more about her background, social life, etc., Mariana Turner, spelled exactly like that. You can find it on the internet, and then you can reach out to her when you've got some questions about responsible pet ownership and things like that.
Absolutely.
Where can I buy kitty litter, by the way? They were out over at Cost You Less. That's my go-to place, because I can get toilet paper and Bounty and kitty litter at the same time, but they were out. Where do you buy yours?
I actually get mine. I do the Amazon subscription, so it just comes. I think I put it every 2 or 3 months, and I forget about it, and it shows up. I'm like, oh yeah, I need more of that. So that's how I do mine.
Donna says free shipping. You can get that with free shipping?
Yes.
Oh, I'm totally sorry.
Actually, I'm not sure about the cat litter because it is so heavy. I think there is shipping involved in it, but for the convenience, I don't have to think about it. It's on subscribe and save, so you get a little bit of a discount. It's like $1 or $2, but that still counts. So,
I'm already smart. I've been on the phone with this lady for 5 minutes. I'm already smarter. This is great. We're going to get you in the studio here one of these days. Again, if you'd like to go down and meet her and her team, not tomorrow, but Saturday morning, 8 o'clock, Telefofo Gym. Bring about $25 with you if you want to take advantage of everything. Rabies, microchipping, and first year of the pet license. And bring your favorite pets. One last thing before I let you go. As much as we love our boonies around here on Guam, I'm also a big proponent of the idea that we send as many of these dogs off island as we possibly can. There seems to be a big market among folks in the U.S. mainland to be able to adopt an animal from Guam. What more can be done to lubricate that process and I don't want to say deport, but relocate some of our Mariana's hounds?
Deportation is almost really accurate there, but honestly, the most challenging part with getting the animals off island, there's tons of adopters out there. It's the actual physical getting the animals off the island, because we got to wait for a charter flight or find all these ways to get them off, because unfortunately United's Pet Safe program is not in operation right now.
Right.
So that's the biggest challenge of how do we get them off the island? And so Boonie Flight Project, they do a phenomenal job at working the system and being able to get off as many boonies as they can. But if that Pet Safe program were to reopen, I mean, the possibility is endless at that point, because there's flights leaving every day.
Yep,
so
and more.
Get way more off.
There's going to be more airplane rides coming in and out of Guam over the course of the summer. Maybe they can make some room for these animals underneath the regular passengers to places. 8:32 in the morning. Doc, a pleasure talking with you. Like I said, we'll keep a string on us. Whatever you need, reach out to Joe. Joe will get you on the air whenever you need to for these events and anything else that you need by way of outreach.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for the offer, and I'm definitely going to be taking you guys up on that.
Roger that. It's 8:32. That was the new territorial veteran, Dr. Mariana Turner. A pleasure to have her on the radio. Coming up, our last look at big news and headlines. And because I'm going to remember to do it today, celebrity birthdays with Donna D. All right, that's coming around, so just stay right there, would you?
The new Subway series includes one of the most craveable sandwiches of them all, the Subway Club.
Number 12, the Turkey Cali Club is the best with avocado, turkey, and bacon.
The best should come with bacon, turkey, and ham. That's my number 10, the All-American Club.
Number 11, the Subway Club is a proven classic that comes with ham too, plus turkey and Angus roast beef.
I see. Let's start over. Let's talk cheese in the Subway series.
I'm still gonna win this. At Subway, you gotta refresh to be fresh.
cash.
Attention investors, Century 21 Realty Management is proud to present an investment opportunity you have to look at. Ladera Towers Condominium provides luxury living centrally located in Manila with access to the entire island. Ladera Towers has 3-bedroom condominium units available now. See them before they're all gone. 4-bedroom units sold out. This investment is only going to appreciate in value. Call now, Century 21 Realty Management. The number is 647-5003 or visit LaderaTowerGuam.com or GuamProperties.com.
$8:34 in the morning. There ought to be a show. We ought to do a show on how to get better than your money's worth and free shipping out of Amazon. Donna D talking about the subscribe and save thing, and different things that you subscribe to so that you can get that break. So it doesn't all have to be big kitty litter kind of items and dog food, big deals of dog food.
It can be small things, because if you subscribe to at least 5 things, it could be 5 of the same stuff or 5 different things, then you get like 15% off. And free shipping.
Yeah.
And if subscribe and save always comes with free shipping, that's what they said on Amazon's website. But to make my 5 items, I add small things, like the G5 pens, the
which we all love, yes.
Yeah. It's only like 2 something. And then some. Is that the one?
No,
yeah,
I'm a G2 guy.
Oh, there's
G2s are good.
G2.5.
Okay. Everybody's got a favorite, right?
Yeah.
8:35 in the morning from Charlie Laron. She says, from GRMC, our healthcare partner, she says, I order kitty litter from Walmart. I pay the annual fee of about $98 to get free shipping. And then she also included the picture of, what is this? Tidy Cats. Which is the next thing that we're going to argue about is what's the best kitty litter. Now, I've had the cat and my one-eyed cat at the house over the course of the last couple. The cat doesn't care. Frankly, the cat just doesn't care what kind of kitty litter I happen to bring home this time. I have noticed that I like the Arm & Hammer.
It smells good.
It smells good, and it smells good for a long time, and it clumps very, very well. It clumps it very well, making it very, very easy, almost pleasurable to clean the cat box.
And you got that at Costuless?
I bought it. I thought I bought it. Yeah, it was Costuless because it still had the receipt on, but they're out now, and I'm worried. I'm worried that this might be one of those supply chain issues, and then I'm going to have to come up with another method. The cat's already doing you a favor because it knows how to go poop and pee inside, right?
Yeah.
See, I don't have to walk the cat. So as far as I'm concerned, I want to return the favor by having a pleasant toilet experience for the cat, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that thought has crossed my mind as well. There's a store in BGC, Bonifacio Global City, little pet store down the street from my Airbnb. And they sell a kit that you can put in the house, and you attach it to your toilet seat. And because it's a cat box, a little kitty cat box and the cat will learn to go to the toilet on the toilet in a cat litter box. And then eventually you take the attachment off the toilet, and the cat will do its business, and it will be in the toilet waiting for you to flush.
And it uses a bidet?
But it's toxic to flush cat poop down the toilet. That's what Google said.
Yeah, read the water lens.
You have to,
What
have
the
to
heck,
throw
man?
it. You have to throw it in the trash.
That's why the water tastes weird, Ray.
No wonder. That's what you're teaching your one-eyed. What's your one-eyed cat's name?
It has several names.
Oh, jeez.
It has several names.
Cyclops.
Aichan is one of the names. I call the cat Aichan because it's Japanese for eye, and it only has one. So it's not Aichan, it's Aichan. Originally came as Bullseye. And Miami's got a Wilson-y name for the cat. So it's lots of different names. It doesn't. It turns around because it's blind in one eye, so everything is a curiosity for the cat. Everything is it's like, hey, what's that? 8:37 in the morning. You ready with that last thing in news?
Yeah.
All right, here it is. Donna D with the latest in news and headlines on Guam. Huffa, what happened?
GDOE's acting superintendent Judy Wanpat says the department will solicit bids from contractors this month to repair FBLG Middle School. GDOE is taking steps to address repairs at other schools. Wanpat says ARP funding for school improvements was increased from $79 million to about $120 million. She says the funding must be spent within the next 18 months. Angora may be getting new legal representation within the next 3 weeks. The agency intends to award a professional services small purchase procurement to the McDonald Law Office. Executive Director Elizabeth Napoli says it's now a matter of the paperwork going to the AG's office for final review. And Guam Green Growth Art Corps, or G3 Art Corps, is calling all creatives to apply for their Mural Fellowship Program. It's a 4-month program where 8 artists will design and paint a mural and receive up to $4,000. The program is funded by the Governor's Education Assistance and Youth Empowerment Grant Program. The deadline to apply is tomorrow. Apply online at guamgreengrowth.org. And that was your last look at local headlines on The Point. Now back to Ray.
Real Joe asking, can they implant an AirTag in pets?
Yeah.
So it's like a kind of big.
But isn't that what the chip is for?
Well, the chip only works if you run a scanner over
Right,
it.
right.
That-
But you're
won't
thinking an
locate the
AirTag.
animal.
Yeah. So
But
what?
the AirTag, isn't it limited to like 40 feet?
The AirTag?
Yeah. Because it's just Bluetooth, right? It's not GPS.
Well, so it's Bluetoothy. It will know where it is because I mean, the theory I guess is there's an Apple phone near everybody all the time, and so you'll get a good last known location if it was able to ping to an Apple phone and report
phone?
itself. I think any Apple phone is that. I'm honestly not 100% sure on how that technology works. I just know it does. So I've got I've got a bunch coming in the mail. You can go to Beyond the Box today and buy a set of 4 for $100 or so, and then you just kind of sprinkle them around everywhere you go. So I've got my man purses, and I got my Merces. I put it in the truck. I put one in the Frontier out in front, so in case somebody steals it, it will have a tracking device, and I've hidden it carefully so that it is out. It is around the open, but you won't see it unless you know exactly what you're looking for and where to find it. So that's kind of a cool thing. You can buy dog collars on the internet. So you put the thing in the collar.
I see. Yeah,
and then it will work like that. 8:40 in the morning. I think I think you're not supposed to use it on people, but I think if you're in a situation where you worry about the kid getting picked up or snagged or kidnapped or whatever, or you've got an old person in your life that might be in the throes of dementia, likes to roam around and just want to know where the heck they might have gotten off to. Those are great ways to help. 20 away from the top of the hour. All right, I told you we were going to do celebrity birthdays because I forgot the last couple of days. But since it's Thursday after 8 o'clock in the morning and I'm still here in the building, we're doing celebrity birthdays. Kristen Davis.
Yeah.
Sex in the City is 58 years old.
Wow, you had me at sex, Ray.
Thank you very much. I know because we're 12. Damon John from Shark Tank is 53 years old. Niecy Nash from Reno 911 and Scream Queens.
Oh, wow, Ray.
Scream Cream.
Is that part 1 or part 2?
I don't know. She's 52 years old.
Okay.
And I actually looked this one up because it turns out it was who I thought it was. A lady named Kelly McDonald is celebrating her 46th birthday.
Who that?
Kelly McDonald. Well, I've got her up on the screen right now. This is the lady that made it that much more pleasurable. I mean, I was crazy about the series.
Oh, her. Okay.
Yes, her from the Boardwalk Empire. She played Margaret Schroeder, and she originally started in the show. She was getting beat up by her old man, and the old man had some issues with the gangs, and the gangs took him, and he slept with the fishes that time. And I want to say it wasn't until late in the series that she kind of found out that it was the dude in Boardwalk Empire that had her husband killed. But anyway, so it never seemed to bother the fact that the guy that was beating her up and laying into the kids was dead. Anyway, Margaret Schroeder from Boardwalk Empire, the lady that plays her, Kelly McDonald, is 46 years old. Aziz Ansari from Parks and Rec turns 39 years old. I've seen a couple episodes of that.
Aziz.
And I remember Mayumi comes and says, we're watching the show on the TV, Pop. I said, okay, which one is that? She said, Mary Poppins. I said, I love Mary Poppins. With the singer and Dick Van Dyke in there.
Spoonful of sugar.
Yeah, it makes the medicine go down. And she said, no, there's a new one.
What?
And I was, my eyes
woke,
were rolling.
Dude. I know it's woke.
I was thinking exactly that. This thing is going to be woke, and crap, I don't want to watch it. But as it turns out, Mary Poppins Returns with Emily Blunt turned out to be a really good version of the movie. So I recommend that if you haven't seen it, take a look at it. Emily Blunt does a fine job. She's 39 years old in the thing. 39. Happy 39th birthday to
She's
Emily
so
Blunt.
young. She looks
I know,
older.
right? And then you've got this one here from War of the Worlds, the little girl from War of the Worlds, Runaways, etc. Dakota Fanning.
Oh, yeah. I know
She's 28.
Whoa.
What? What?
You mean she's not 18?
How old is the War of the Worlds?
She's legal, Ray.
And then some, 28 years old. I don't know.
I'm kidding, man.
No, you're not. That's the scary part. 8:43 in the morning. If you're looking for something to celebrate, it's Diesel Engine Day.
Yes.
Hey, that reminds me.
Wow.
You
Hey,
people,
whatever happened with that mobile station?
yeah, did that all work out for you? How much? Just exactly how much of did that mistake cost the mobile people? Putting gasoline in diesel engines and diesel in gasoline engines. It was only for a day and only for a few hours until they figured it out. But in the meantime, though, I know from a couple of people that got stung on that. They didn't have to pick up the tab for the work that it took to clean everything out. And I'm told it was rather pricey. I wonder how many of those rather pricey procedures had to get done. Diesel Engine Day, it is Introduce a Girl to Engineering Day. And that, I think, is a worth. So did I tell you I met one of the new bosses over at the Micronesia Mall?
New bosses?
Yeah, and
Who's that?
it's a her, and she's got engineering degree.
What's her name?
I'm not going to tell you because I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't have. Renee will call me up and tell me what it is. Just a terrific lady. We had a chance to talk about things over at the mall, and like I said, she comes from an engineering background, which kind of floored me in a kind of a misogynistic,
Does it mean she's really smart?
She's really smart. She's really smart. But I think there's an opportunity here with people like that, women in construction in general, to be able to say, engineering is not automatically a dude's job. So if you've got some smarts and are looking for an opportunity, there's always a job opening for folks in the engineering field. Banana Bread Day.
Yay.
And Chili Day. Stop. I know what you're going to say. Just knock it off.
What kind of chili?
Stop it. You too.
No, I mean
Both
like
of you.
chili the stewy thing or chili the pepper?
I don't know. It just says it's Chili Day. You can do with that with what you will. On TikTok, there's a video of a Chinese girl raised in America that is introducing her very Chinese parents to chili for the very first time.
Oh, those are cool videos.
How'd that turn out?
They didn't know what to make of it. There's what exactly? Oh, I heard this is big in Texas. Well, the people in Texas eat chili all the time. Hi, my name is Ray, and I'll take a chili dog whenever I can. 8:46 in the morning. Donna D's going to head out and do the rest of her Donna D day, and you and I and Joe get to figure out how we're going to kill an hour and 15 minutes next.
From the largest healthcare network in the Philippines, the Medical City and Guam Regional Medical City bring you world-class healthcare through the Medical City Referral Office. Get access to a diversified portfolio of services and highly trained medical staff during your stay in the Philippines and continuity of care in Guam. If you are looking for a partner on your journey to wellness, take your first step with the best in the Philippines and in Guam with the Medical City. You may visit them at the Rang Care Building in Tamuning or call 645-5645.
After a long wait, the biggest, juiciest, most flavorful chicken makes its return. The Circle K 3-pound rotisserie chicken is back. Get 3 whole pounds of perfectly seasoned chicken for all your family feasts. And for a limited time, pick up a rotisserie chicken and a Pepsi Family 2-liter soda, the perfect dinner combo, for only $19.95. Available at select Circle K stores. Swing by and take yours home today. Circle K, take it easy.
Da-da-da-da. So 8:47 in the morning. Oh, that's interesting. Online right now, the meme machine is working. Plain Boy sent me this. It's not a toxic creek. It's Pride water. In Ohio, as a result of the train crash and the controlled burn that they had, all of this stuff now leaching into the water table, and what you're seeing is a shot. I've seen 2 or 3 versions of something like this. In fact, this particular meme, but from different places up and down different rivers that they've got there, where if you disturb the water just a little bit, then all of a sudden you can see the chemical blooms start. Yeah, and that's water that I'm sure eventually turns into drinking water. And the guy from EPA apparently made a big show of drinking the water that came out of the tap.
No,
There.
he didn't drink it.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure they figured out a way to kabuki that. Look, here's the thing. Ohio water, trust it only if it came on a pallet that was hand-delivered by President Donald J. Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Now, where's Biden? He's not going anywhere near
He's
that.
holding hands in Ukraine, Ray.
I saw that, so Biden's off, gallivanting, trying to herald in the beginning of the start of a soft start to World War III, while you got Donald Trump is actually on the ground in Ohio right now, and any number of other politicals and in the Republican Party that are headed in that direction to show people in that community and the entire state and maybe the entire country that we stand with you. $500 million to Ukraine, and we've got this chemical Chernobyl in Ohio. It just isn't right in a lot of people's mind, and they don't seem to care one way or the other about that in Washington D.C. Booty, what's his name? Peter Chef Buttigieg, whatever.
Yeah, Buttigieg.
Just a disaster in the position of Secretary of Transportation. An absolute disaster. Many calling for his resignation. How many days since this thing in Ohio? And the answer to that question is, I don't know really, because for a long time it was under wraps. It was a matter of rumor and conjecture. They weren't allowing, they were arresting journalists that were trying to cover this story in the very beginning of it. And finally, it was something that they couldn't keep under wraps. Secretary of Transportation has not been there yet. The media journalist reporter was found him walking around the streets and started asking him questions that he would not answer. Are you going? Yes, I am going, but there was no when, and I think the reason why there is no when is because one of the things that they're going to have to do, because it's Washington and it's the deep state, is they're going to go and choreograph the entire thing. They're going to go down there and they're going to show him the best of the work that has been done so far. It's like when they go down to the border.
Piano music, Ray?
There might be some piano music, drone footage, certainly some stuff in slow motion.
Him pointing at stuff randomly.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Off in the distance. I'm here from the federal government. I'm here to help, which should be a serious warning for anybody in that part of the world. 10 away from the top of the hour. 888-8255, 888-TALK is the telephone number. Something you want to talk about, by all means, let me know. And there's a bunch of different ways that you can let me know. One is use that phone number I just gave you. Number two, 797-8255. That is the meme machine number. And one of the things that I look at from time to time to see what somebody is sending me. And I love this. I don't care where you find the memes. By all means, send them in. There's a picture of Rocky in a T-shirt that's hitting hard. It says, Alexa, change the president.
Right away.
Oh, my God. If only it were that easy, huh? 888. Well, I'm not going to give you the number again. You've already got that. One of the guys that has the number, and it's a long day of conversation for folks over at the legislature, include Senator Jesse Anderson Lujan. Buenas and half a day, Senator.
Hey, good morning, Ray. Good morning, Real Joe. How you doing this morning?
You know what? Absolutely groovy. It's Thursday after 8 o'clock. I'm out of jury duty, and that means I got all kinds of time to spend talking to you about some of your projects that are working over at the legislature.
Yes, sir. Yes, actually, I'm walking over there right now. One of my bills is up for a public hearing this morning, so that's where I'm headed to. So I'm talking to you while I'm walking over to the legislature.
Right on. Well, which bill would that happen to be?
Actually, it's Bill 8-37. Yes. Sorry.
Okay. Well, what's it about? Never mind. Don't give me the numbers. I don't know anything about numbers.
Okay. That's the that's requiring all RFPs, IFBs, and all that to be on one central website on the Government Guam website. So people of Guam have the opportunity to find out exactly what agency, whether you're autonomous or line agency, whatever is up for an RFP or IFB, that people have one central location to go to and see what's being bidded out.
Well, can I ask a question just real quick? Sure. We've got a Bureau of Information Technology at the governor's office. What the hell do they do all day? Because that sounds like something that they should have done years ago.
Well, that's one of the tasks that we're telling them to do is basically put that on the website, one central website. So Office of Technology is tasked to do as such. Absolutely.
Right. But why isn't there already? I guess that ought to be a question. Why isn't there already a govguam.com on the World Wide Web where we can go and find out everything that we need to know about what's happening in the government of Guam, up to and including you've got another bill that you've introduced, 48-37, which says here, which aims to hold the Department of Education accountable for reporting school inspections. And it seems to me that would be a great component of this govguam.com thing, where we could go in there and see what the procurement looks like, various reports and communications, all in one spot.
Absolutely. That they're kind of like sister bills, coming out from the same mother. Pretty much. Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, one of the things that you're going to find, and I'm not sure if I can tell you how I know what I know. But see if you can find some people over at the Attorney General's office who have done a little bit of the work that you're looking at now, where you're trying to get a hold from Department of Public Health and Social Services, et cetera, copies of inspections that they have done in a variety of schools. Somebody over at the Attorney General's office has asked for that. That documentation already exists. There's already a binder full of all of those kinds of things, and that would be a great start for 4837.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a great start. And that's one of the things, again, those things, and if they have it already, they would be put on the website as soon as this bill is enacted into law.
Yeah. Well, all you got to do is work on that. Were you likewise at the meeting of the Committee on Rules yesterday?
No, I wasn't. As a matter of fact, I'm not a member of the Rules Committee. Four of our Republicans, of course, Senator Chris, Senator Tello, Senator Joanne, and Senator Fisher are members of that committee. I'm not in the committee. And actually, as a matter of fact, I was meeting with the Congressman's office yesterday, working on some legislation in regards to Agent Orange and visa waivers and all that. So I was with them while the Committee on Rules meeting was going on as well.
Visa waivers? That's curious.
Yes,
I know who we want visa waiver opportunities with. It's a place called the Philippines, about 3.5 hours away from right where we are today.
That's exactly what we're working on.
Nice.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I wish you very good luck on that. I get some communications from Jimmy. We'll talk about either not this hour, if we've got time, or next hour. One of the things that I'm looking forward to, and I'm sure you'll be in attendance tomorrow, is the general membership meeting of the Guam Visitors Bureau.
Yes, absolutely. We'll be there. I would definitely be there. I want to see what's going on. Hopefully, we've gotten past this impasse and moving forward. But yes, definitely, I'm very interested in to see what's going on and
Bro, take notes. Take notes for me, man. Because I got a meeting. I got a meeting like right after I get off the air here, so I won't have a chance to get down to the Nico where the meeting is going to be. But I'm dying to find out what the outcome of that is going to be. To the degree that there are already 4 people that have been identified as candidates for board positions, and another 4 people that have been nominated kind of from the floor among the membership. I think it's going to be interesting to see how they resolve that and who ends up being elected to those board positions. So let me know when you find out. That'll give us something to talk about on Monday.
No, absolutely. I'll let you know because there was a situation there, of course, where nominations were closed already, and names were submitted after the nomination had closed. But we'll see how that proceeds, and that if that proceeds, that would probably create its own problem as well.
Well, there's I'm waiting for shoes to drop, bro. We'll see what happens. 3 minutes away from the top of the hour. One last thing for you. Front page of the Pacific Daily News here, Senator Juan Pat, former colleague of yours, GDOE taking steps to make repairs. Have you had an opportunity to meet with her, maybe marry up some of the ideas that you've got for statute and ways that the legislature can help the Department of Education more and keep obviously a great deal of transparency in the work that they need to do?
Well, no. We in the personal meeting with her and I haven't had the opportunity to do that, but we were together and sat down and asked a few questions in regards to a roundtable that we had with GDOE. I think it was last week that was, and that was very informative. But again, the problem's still there. Finger pointing, wasn't me, that type of thing, right? But no, that. So here we are. We are all here now. So it's upon us. We can no longer point the fingers at anybody else because it's upon us now. So let's take the bull by the horn.
Amen
get
to
it done.
amen to that. Although I can't help but think that a certain amount of these efforts are going to end up looking like election campaign stuff. But that's just me and my general mistrust of things. Senator, always a pleasure talking with you. Have a good time over at your hearing.
It's a pleasure. Walking in right now. Thank you very much, Ray. Have a great day. Thank you.
888-255-888-TA.
Oh, it's so nice of you to welcome in there,
Right?
Ray.
No, it's kind of like a radio escort.
We're holding hands.
Here's a thing. I was a little bit worried because he sounded like he was huffing and puffing for a second.
He's working on that cardio.
Cardio, bro. Cardio has absolutely no memory. 858 and change. 888-255-888-TALK. Yeah, that's Rambo up on the screen with a T-shirt that says, Alexa, change the president. More like that whenever you send them in at 797-8255. Things that we've got left to talk about here before it gets to be later. Did I hear Donna talking about another accident in front of the ITC building in Tamura? Another auto ped that apparently has taken place. It was a fatality last week, and this week it looks like there's another one. And maybe there are some questions about the safety of Guam's roadways. Is it the drivers? Is it the infrastructure in that area that makes it that much more dangerous for people to go from one side of the street to the other? Says the guy that wasn't allowed to cross Marine Corps Drive by himself until I was 18 years of age. You might be like, come on, Ray, that's not true. Yeah, it is. We were under orders from our parents. We could not cross Marine Corps Drive unless there was a parade going on or unless we were holding hands with one of the adults in the family. Closing in on 9 o'clock in the morning. Fox News Live is going to be coming up next. On the other side of that, there's no Donna D with news and headlines. It's just me and Real Joe killing the next, 61 minutes between here and there. You can help. I've already told you how. Still plenty of items in the table of contents and a whole bunch of stuff that I should have been doing for 28 Thursdays that I haven't. Stick around, Brown. It's all ahead.
The president wraps up his Eastern European trip. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. President Biden met with leaders from NATO allies today in Warsaw, Poland.
The message was straightforward. NATO will defend its members against any attack from Russia. Friday marks the one-year anniversary of the start of the war. In anticipation of heavy shelling by Russia, Ukrainian education officials have advised schools to work remotely for the rest of the week to avoid casualties. Since the war began, more than 400 Ukrainian schools have been destroyed beyond repair from Russian rocket fire.
Fox's Steve Harrigan is in Kyiv, Ukraine. Fox News has confirmed Russia attempted a test launch of an intercontinental ballistic missile during President Biden's trip to Eastern Europe. Military officials say that test failed. In one of his first big public events since announcing another run for the White House, former President Trump visited East Palestine, Ohio today, criticizing the Biden administration's response to the derailment and release of toxic chemicals there.
What this community needs now are not excuses and all of the other things you've been hearing, but answers and results, and that's what I think you're going to say.
The Biden administration says the EPA, Department of Transportation, and FEMA are all on the ground in East Palestine following the derailment. Nearly 60 million Americans are under winter weather alerts from the latest storm systems across the country from Montana to Maine. Fox Weather's Max Gordon is in Minneapolis.
Storm totals are now less than previously predicted, but the National Weather Service is still looking ahead to 11 to 16 additional inches of snow here in the Twin Cities. Blizzard and storm warnings remain in effect, and people here are still being told to hunker down and avoid travel.
That massive storm expected to continue to impact a large portion of the country through tomorrow. The northern plains and upper Midwest can expect mostly snow. Significant icing could also lead to major problems from Iowa to New York State. America is listening to Fox News.
Looking for a new home or that special place to spend your retirement? Century 21 Realty Management has the place for you. Ladera Towers Condominium in Manila. Luxury living you deserve. Amenities like a gourmet kitchen, a large jacuzzi tub, private lanai with a magnificent ocean view, and 24/7 security. Other amenities, large swimming pool, couple of tennis courts, 3-bedroom condo units are available right now. This is an opportunity you should look at now before they're all gone. Call us now at Century 21 Realty Management, 647-5003, or visit the website, LaderaTowerGuam.com or GuamProperties.com.
After a long wait, the biggest, juiciest, most flavorful chicken makes its return. The Circle K 3-pound rotisserie chicken is back. Get 3 whole pounds of perfectly seasoned chicken for all your family feasts. And for a limited time, pick up a rotisserie chicken and a Pepsi Family 2-liter soda, the perfect dinner combo, for only $19.95. Available at select Circle K stores. Swing by and take yours home today. Circle K, take it easy.
Some cities are considering using leftover COVID-19 relief money for reparation programs for its black residents.
Our researchers found that at least 10 cities, counties, and states have recently considered some sort of reparations programs. Of those 10, at least 2 of them are proposing using federal taxpayer dollars from the American Rescue Plan to fund them. Providence, Rhode Island, and Shelby County, Tennessee, which includes Memphis. A commissioner co-sponsoring the proposal in Shelby County that's up for a vote today wants to use $5 million in pandemic relief money to study the possibility of a longer-term reparations program.
Fox's Grady Trimble. The Philippines is looking to form closer ties with the U.S.
In a new move of shifting relationships, the Philippines has put in place its most broadened foreign policy approach in about 10 years. Tensions only continue to escalate with nearby China and its growing relationship with Russia. The new move also signals an aim for the country to restore its alliance with the United States. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. took office this summer, and now his major change will likely drive a wedge between the Philippines and China while strengthening the relationship with the U.S. This news also comes just weeks after the United States announced it would expand its presence in Southeast Asia, and that includes gaining access to more military bases in the Philippines. In London, Alex Hogan, Fox News.
Amazon has closed its $3.9 billion acquisition of the primary care organization One Medical. The health company runs a membership-based service offering virtual care as well as in-person visits. The two companies said membership to the service will be available to new U.S. customers for $144, which is a 28% discount for the first year. I'm Rich Dennison, and this is Fox News.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,100 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 671-475-4545, Upper Tumon 671-647-5626, or in Dededo 671-633-4473.
For all your real estate needs, call the professionals at Hoffaday Realty. Jody, Saran, Libby, and Lolita, and they'll take care of you on every step of the real estate process. No worries. Just contact Hoffaday Realty at 588-4232 or 588-HOFFA, or email them at hoffadayrealty@gmail.com. They're at 426 Challenge San Antonio, Suite 204 in Tamuning. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. Hoffaday Realty for all your real estate needs.
Everyone has a busy schedule these days, and sometimes we forget to schedule our routine dental checkup and cleaning. Don't neglect your dental health. Schedule one today with Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile Team, conveniently located at the East-West Business Center on Marine Drive, Upper Tumon. Call us today at 647-8702 or 3. Again, that's 647-8702 or 647-8703. We make smiles happen.
Ray Gibson Show brought to you by APL, American President Lines, a global presence with a local home, also being brought to you by the team over at Subway. And I did it again. Oops, I did it again, Brittany said. I went to the Subway out in Barragata and got my lunch yesterday. And a buddy of mine comes up behind me. I'll just leave that there for your imagination. And he says, "What are you ordering, Ray?" And I said, "I'm getting me a number 10. It's one of these, club sandwiches that they've got there." And there are definitely 2 of them, and you can go back and forth between the 2. And he says, "Interesting, a club sandwich. It's Lent, you know." And fortunately, right then, he got a phone call from the governor and had to go and finish the conversation over in another direction because, God help it if I might hear a company secret. But it was nice to get together with all kinds of people and listen to the different orders that were being made over at this Subway place. And everybody, either ordering by name or number, which is what you do with the new Subway series that they've got there, Guam and Saipan. You call out the order, and for me, it was a number 10. And then you negotiate what kind of bread you want on this and what kind of cheese and all of that stuff. And before you know it, you've got a great tasting sandwich. I hooked that up with some potato chips and a Coca-Cola, and I was the happiest guy. I did it again, though. I ordered the footlong with every intention of only eating half of it at lunch and then noshing on the rest of it later. But I couldn't control myself. No, I was unable to control myself yesterday and ended up eating the whole thing at once, and it was good. I'm a bad boy, but it tasted so good I couldn't stop. 8 after 9. Try it today at Subway. Eat fresh.
It's the Ray Gibson Show. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
A lot of noise, not a noise on the radio here. It's what we do. And hi, my name is Ray, and I'm kind of a fish out of water here for a second. I know I do a weekday show every single day, but it's been a while since I've had to think about what kind of program to do on a Thursday at 9 because we haven't had to do Thursdays at 8 or 9 for the last 6 months. But here I am. I find myself putting in all of the hours required for the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. And don't worry. I haven't run out of stuff to talk about yet. In fact, there was a story that came in yesterday just before I left, and I was unable to do anything with it at that time. But you know who Jimmy Moylan's good friend is? I think this is Backer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you ever remember, like, first day of school, right? You know, when you were a kid? And immediately you're looking at the guys that are probably going to bully you, and then the guys that are going to be your backers. Well, Jimmy has got a friend in Congress. His name is Joe Wilson. You'll remember that name because they made a movie about him, played by Tom Hanks. That guy, Joe Wilson's War. Joe Wilson's War.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the ball. Wilson.
No, not
From
different
Castaway.
guy. I wonder if that was the inspiration. Could have been. Anyway, 9 after 9 o'clock in the morning, and there's a story that comes along with a picture that's on screen right now with Congressman Jim Moylan and Joe Wilson, both Republicans. Joe is from South Carolina. What is South Carolina famous for recently? The final resting place for the Chinese balloon.
Oh, that's right.
There you go. All right, so here's the story. Congressman Jim Moylan and Joe Wilson, both members of the House Armed Services Committee, issued a joint statement calling on the Biden administration to reveal the truth to the American people about the trajectory of the spy balloon recently launched by the Chinese Communist Party toward Guam and destroyed over South Carolina.
Same balloon.
Same balloon.
Wow.
Guam, over here, in the fringes of democracy in the Pacific Ocean, closer to Tokyo, Japan, closer to Hainan Island, where it was launched from, closer to the Philippines than it is to South Carolina. You know, if I wanted to get on an airplane and visit the final resting place of the Chinese balloon, it would take me somewhere between 25 and 30 hours to get from here to there. And that includes, I want to say that includes, hanging out at the airport time, all of that. So what exactly transpired? There's the Biden version of the story, and then there's the truth. And what they're asking for here is the truth. It is shocking, here's the quotes, to learn from the Washington Post that U.S. monitors tracked the Chinese Communist Party spy balloon from its Hainan Island origin in China over Guam, then across America until its ultimate destruction by a U.S. fighter jet off the coast of South Carolina. The Biden administration has misled American families regarding the path of the spy balloon, the significance of targets, the full disclosure of its origin, and many significant facts. The course has been concealed and absurdly categorized as classified. This information is important to our home communities throughout the 19 villages of Guam, inclusive of both Naval Base Guam and Anderson Air Force Base, all the way to Fort Jackson and the Savannah River site in South Carolina. Our constituents are sadly at risk, and American families deserve accurate information. Every effort should be made to capture such objects for verification of source and capability. But they didn't. They went and used very expensive hardware to blow the thing out of the sky. I don't know to what degree anything that they've been able to salvage in the somewhat shallow, relatively shallow waters of South Carolina. I don't know what they've been able to salvage, if anything, that might have any kind of military or intelligence value whatsoever. Could have gone in, probably could have gone in and shot the thing, with some cannons. Or as Grandma used to say, canyons.
Yes.
You know, and just let the thing kind of float down. Maybe onto. I mean, if you do it right, I'm sure, you know, like a regular balloon, you might be able to poke a hole in it, and it will just kind of slowly fade down as the hot air or whatever is inside of it, you know, just starts to leak out. And then if you're really good, you might be able to have it, you know, just kind of leak slowly down into the lower parts of the atmosphere, maybe onto the deck of a boat. Carrier, I don't know, a helicopter carrier that you might be able to zoom out to an area and just have it kind of swim around there waiting for the thing to fall kind of onto its landing pads, as opposed to, we need to blow this thing out of the sky. We need to protect our Chinese friends.
Yeah.
Watch. That's what's going to happen next. Anyway, so these guys over in Washington, D.C. looking to the Biden administration for a little bit more of the truth. I told you earlier that I think that based on, you know, some of the headlines and stories that I'm reading, and unfortunately I got to go to the internet for this stuff because you're not seeing a whole lot of it in our coverage of what's going on. Certainly stuff that gets buried. You know, the North Koreans have been sending missiles up pretty much all week, haven't they? Hardly a day goes by that
we're not in any danger, Ray. So
that's what they say. I'm not in any danger.
Chill, Daddy.
So I think the idea here is they're going to get us used to them sending rockets up all the time, sending missiles that are capable of hitting us here on
like
Guam.
That Cry Wolf thing.
Yeah. So we're not going to make a big deal about it. We're going to do that, and we're just going to keep sending them up. And one of these days, they're going to send one up that has got a good aimer on it and maybe a payload. And I worry about that kind of thing because, you know, quote, we just seem to be monitoring situations, but not necessarily telling people what it is that they should do. What's the siren sound like? You know, when they do those all hazards warning systems? Yeah. What does this siren sound like that means that we're about to launch into World War III? You know, is
it a different sound, right?
There's one, you know, seek shelter, and then there's the other one, kiss your ass goodbye, right? And I want to know what the second one sounds like. I want to know what that one is supposed to sound like, so I know what it is that I'm supposed to do. Do I hurry, scurry? Do I go and get my go kit? Do I start looking for water and flashlights and spam? Or is it, you know what, this is the big one. There's no point. Just go find your family, hug each other up. It'll all be over in about half of a second.
Maybe they play "It's the End of the World" by REM.
Hey, good groovy tune. 9:15 in the morning. We gotta figure out what the answers to all of those questions are, because it just seems to me that we're like on our own. There used to be a little bit more of an active civil defense, right? When they were kids, there was actual signs on buildings. The civil defense of
the bomb shelter.
Yes, that's what that meant. And you don't see too much of that. There used to be in the front pages of the phone book. There used to be all these civil defense warnings and information about what to do when there's a typhoon, what to do if there's an earthquake, what to do if there's a tidal wave, all of those kinds of things. So we've got it so that we've got these all hazard warning systems, and they get tested all the time. Tuesdays at 3, right? First Tuesday of the month at 3.
Yeah.
And that's when you hear the things, but not so much by information on what it is that you were supposed to do in case it's not a test of the emergency system. 9:16 in the morning. 888-825-5888-TALK. There's my cousin Troy. How you doing there, cuz?
I'm well, thank you. How are you guys doing?
Never better. I got all kinds of activities planned out for the rest of the day, and one of them involves hanging out with folks from the Japanese. What do you call it? The Japanese consulate. It's the Emperor's birthday.
Oh, cool! Very happy birthday, Mr. Emperor.
Yeah. Well, the good news is I don't have to show up with any presents. I don't have to bring any birthday omiyage for the Emperor at this big get together that we're going to be having a little bit later on. But there's another thing that is worth celebrating. What is it that they're going to be doing for Johnny over at the Women's Chamber?
So today at 11:30, she's addressing. No, it's not the Women's Chamber. It's the Guam Chamber of Commerce. It's their businesswomen's network, and she'll be addressing them about. You know, basically, as a woman in business, how you overcome these obstacles that you have in life in order to succeed. And so Johnny's got a great story, and she's going to tell it.
I think that's going to be fantastic. Is it going to be broadcast?
So I'm not say that. So the chamber is charging a $10 admission, and you know, candidate may or may not be covering it, but go in person. and pay that $10 to support your Guam Chamber of Commerce and their outreach efforts and their efforts to roll back the BPT, roll back government regulations, do all the things that we know are necessary in order to get this economy going.
Yeah, unfortunately, the wishes of the chamber and its membership, regardless of gender, generally ignored by some in the legislature and certainly people over in Adelup. Because they got their own chamber. They've got their own women's chamber club.
Hey, on that issue of the what to do if in case there's like a missile coming to Guam or whatever. Can I shoot my own horn for a second here?
Absolutely.
Because I actually have the answer, and this is why I have the answer. So back when I was Calvo's communications director, one of the ancillary duties I had was whenever there was an emergency, I'd be in charge of the Joint Information Center. In emergency response, you have two centers. You have the Emergency Operations Center, and which does all of the heavy lifting, the preparation, the mitigation, and the response. And you have the Joint Information Center that throughout all of that process provides the relevant information to the public so we all know what to do. And so when that first round of North Korean missile threats came to Guam, I want to say 2013, 2014, something like that, we were first activated, and there was no playbook. There was no national playbook, and there was no local playbook. There was a little bit of stuff in the emergency response plan, but nothing that was made for public consumption. And so within a few hours, as this threat was occurring, I think there was a threat that within a few hours, a missile might come, right?
Yeah.
And it's a pretty big deal, and everyone was flipping out. Within a few hours, we wrote the playbook on how to inform the public. Social media was sort of a thing back then, but then we thought, not everybody had social media. Not everybody at the time had access to phones the way we have access to phones today. And so,
well, the other thing is the systems might not be working in the event of EMP or any kind of major blast. I mean, it could completely handicap the entire telecommunication systems that we have. So while social media might have been an interesting place to park information about what to do, if you can't get it, it's useless.
And so it was just going back to just the most fundamental way of communicating with people, and it was direct. And the use of the vehicles for communication were the mayors and the schools to get to the highest number of people in the shortest amount of time. You just have these flyers ready and you send them to the mayors or whatever message you have, right? You send them to the mayors and to the schools, and they're reproduced quickly and sent out into the villages and into the schools. And you have the kids take these flyers home to their parents. But in the event of actual emergency, if they say there's a missile coming to Guam, there really is. So we had to vet this through, and there was a reality that we had to face, which was quite sobering. Was, well, what do you do? And literally, the response is you hunker down. You do not, if your children are at school, you do not drive to go get them out of school, because these schools are made of concrete. There are areas for them to be away from windows. And so, the schools already know what to do in the event that a missile is coming to Guam, to hunker down the kids in the classrooms and the staff and whatever, right?
It's like riding the airplane when they're giving you the demo. Put on your mask first and then the kid's mask.
If you live in a concrete home, go into a room with as few windows as possible. Put tape up that window so that in the event that windows blow out, as much as possible, the window or windows in that room that you're in don't break apart. If you do not live in a concrete house, go to the nearest concrete house and try to get entry there and hunker down there. I mean, it's just a very simple.
Well, the basics. In my mind, it's always two scenarios. One is the pre-blast, and the other one is the post-blast. And the post-blast is the one that I think is the people need to be concerned about. There's a very, very good chance that we might survive something, but we're going to have to deal with the idea that the ambulances, fire trucks, police department vehicles probably not going to be able to make it through the roadways, either because of congestion or because of debris as a result of all of that. So folks got to be thinking in terms of how am I going to get around around. What have I got to help ensure that I can make it from wherever I am on Guam to home and buddy up with the family. It's all important to have a family plan. And again, it's a good thing that we talk about this on the air. I don't know that anybody else is having these conversations. I really, really do feel like we're inching our way towards something that is going to feel like the grand global cataclysm. There seems to be no hesitation for everybody to be talking tough here and in Europe and up and down the seaboard that we're on now, the island chains that we've got. Aggressive China, aggressive North Korea, aggressive Russia, and what sounds like a fairly aggressive Biden.
Yeah, sadly, one of the places this administration has failed at is outreach on emergency preparedness. Civil defense and homeland security have just been dismal in that regard. You know, you think about the propensity for there to be a typhoon here, and you don't hear anything from civil defense helping to prepare the community on what to do if a typhoon comes, much less a nuclear-armed missile, an earthquake, et cetera. So you have these commercials that they purchased over at the theaters. People go to the theaters
with the little kids talking about the tsunami that we're never going to have.
Yes, and you know, you used to have people like Dee Cruz, right, over at Homeland Security. She was the spokeswoman for a little bit, and she did a remarkable job with outreach. And you know, really half the job of civil defense and Homeland Security. And when you think about it, like, well, what are they doing when there's not an emergency?
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to be providing outreach and education into the community. And for something like a typhoon that we had, like a big one we haven't had in a long time, it's just ever more critical to drill it into people's heads about those emergency response kits, what to do, the numbers to call, you know, all of that stuff. It requires just a high level of repeated education into the community using various media sources. It was a very strong thing during the Calvo administration. Very dismal performance by the Yongiro administration, and it's just a good thing that those things haven't happened. 9:24
in the morning is start a club. It's you and your friends start a club. When I was living up in Barragata Heights, I lived on one side. I lived on the South Savannah side, and I knew people that lived on the North Savannah side. And I said, I reached out to them just kind of conversationally and said, look, if there's a bright flash, if we have to, this is what I suggest that we do: is we take a couple of vehicles, move them to the very the beginning at the front of South Savannah and the front of North Savannah, shoot the tires out, and that's going to be the barricade. We're going to have people with arms in those places, keeping an eye on it. Otherwise, this place is going to get Barragata Heights would be the first place to get raided by hordes of people looking for food and water and other shelters. So we got to do what we can to protect our own little areas. So form a club, make a WhatsApp group with your friends. The SHTF blank hits the fan club. Is what you want to start at your place. 9:25 in the morning. Cousin Troy online, and I think, was that all I needed to talk to you about? What are you going to be looking at over the next couple of days? I think there's some interesting things. What did I say?
The chief.
What chief?
I think the chief is going to hook up with him today later.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah,
the chief of actual police?
Yeah. So remember those Guam police corruption stories we did, our parts 1 through 5. The first 4 parts are based on federal court documents that were recently unsealed, federal court documents between 2015 and 2018 that allege by the feds major police corruption. So we asked the chief when we first broke that story, can we talk to you about this? And he said, I need to wrap my head around this. It's the first I'm hearing of it, which of course it's not. We've got this stuff up to him before. But I guess the first is hearing of it from the feds. I guess it took the feds to tell him that this was actually happening before he could believe a former druggie like me, right? So I guess he's wrapped his head around it, and at 2 p.m. today, he's ready to talk to candidate about it. And Berlin Savella, she called and she said, because you guys were the ones who asked, we want to know, did you want to invite the rest of the media? And I was like, heck yeah, everybody needs to know about this. Everyone needs to know about this. And so that's happening at 2 o'clock today. We're going to be covering that live for sure.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that in and of itself is a big deal. To be followed tomorrow at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon by Chris Barnett's get-together, the roundtable that he is going to be having with members of the Department of Public Safety.
Oh, I did not know that that's happening. Thank you for letting me know.
No problem. Hey, that's why we back each other up here, bro. That's the thing. All right, where will you find?
Well, too busy with news, man. I got our friends over in the CNMI. They're busy with news too, and we've got such a small shop over here. But okay. We'll try as much as possible.
We gotta kick up the advertising and the awareness about Candid, and then we can hire a couple of other people. Not all of the decent journalists that we've got in this town are gone for good. GPD to discuss crime and meth with senators. Although I think primarily this is going to be done by Senator Chris Barnett. You can find the story and what he's going to be talking with Stephen Ignacio and others about on page 9 of today's Guam Daily Post.
Have you seen Tom Fisher's fentanyl bill?
I've read bits and pieces of the fentanyl bill and seen some of the write up on it.
I love it. I wish he would apply some of that stuff to our meth laws. I mean, the drug laws that.
Oh, you're making reference to the penalties that will apply.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't disagree with that. I think that's I was joking. I saw Senator Joanne Brown. Stop it. Whatever you're going to say, just stop. At a thing last night.
I promised Jesus to stop those kind of jokes.
Okay, so I saw her last night, and I told her, I shook her, as I was shaking her hand, I said, listen, this constituent is for caning. I want you to know, and I will say it publicly, and I did in front of all kinds of people. Yes, on caning. Please vote yes on that. I think there needs to be some significant forms of punishment that we're meting out, especially to the drug dealers. I think there ought to be 20 lashes with a cane if you are convicted of peddling crystal methamphetamine on top of your jail sentence.
Yeah.
That is nothing. 20 hits off a cane is nothing in comparison to the pain and the agony that you put these people through when you get them addicted to your crystal methamphetamine. It's nothing in comparison to the pain, the agony, the anxiety that you put families through when you get it. Virtually every single story that you see in the magistrate reports involve some woman and kids getting beat up or mistreated by somebody that has got crystal meth. I can't tell you the number of times in jury duty where we heard the phrase, he's like that when he smokes ice.
Yeah, it really is sad. Imagine all the cases of this that don't go reported.
And according to Chris Barnett, some of these drug peddlers are out there living large. Made a whole lot of money during COVID-19 and opening businesses and restaurants and all kinds of other stuff. Just living large, living off the pain of all of these people that they've got hooked on crystal meth. Go get them.
I had to look at his speech. We weren't able to go yesterday.
Right. Well, you take a look at that. So you got your thing with the chief today. He's going to have this time with the chief tomorrow. And maybe if we can get out from under the it's always been like this, or I need more money, or the Department of Administration isn't moving fast enough for me. Never mind the excuses. Never mind the apologies. Just tell me what it's going to take to get the work done and get this crystal meth off the streets as quick as possible. 9:30, bro. I got to run. I'll talk to you later.
You guys have a wonderful day.
Already, bro. Already, man. And I want to thank you for wearing those shorts at the gym.
Ow.
Wait, no, I gotta ask. I mean, even as a gay guy, I mean, there's women over at the gym wearing those shorts. It turns your heads, though, doesn't it?
No, I just look at myself at the gym.
Cousin Troy, couldn't love you more. Bottom of the hour, it's 9:31. Ray Gibson Show will continue on the other side of these.
Half a day, this is Josh here at APO. Our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APO is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apo.com.
Go green, go hybrid, go to Nanbo Insurance, and your next power bill is on us. Insure your hybrid car at Nanbo and get up to $350 towards your next power bill. That's instant savings for keeping our island clean and green. Nanbo has been providing Guam with over 50 years of reliable and affordable auto insurance. At Nanbo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for details.
Guam Regional Medical City is the center of excellence for general and minimally invasive surgeries like colonoscopy, dialysis and vascular access, gallbladder, skin and soft tissue, gastrointestinal tract, hernia repair, spleen, select liver and pancreas diseases, upper endoscopy, and more. Schedule your appointment with GRMC today by calling 671-633-GRMC. That's 671-633-4762. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
Right on, 9:32 in the morning, 888-255-888-TALK. We are at ThePOINT.gu. You want another handy website? NissanGuam.com on the World Wide Web. That's where you get all kinds of information on the great rides that they've got and the great deal they're putting together on Versas, Sentras, Rogues, Kicks, brand new cars on the lot, but they don't want them there. They want it at your lot, at your house. So how do we affect the deal? How about this? 0 down payment. We know you lost money on the Super Bowl, probably spent too much on Valentine's. You got Mother's Day coming up. Nobody got any spare cash around, so 0 down payment. And on top of that, Nissan will make the first 3 payments on that ride. Your favorite brand's waiting for you at NissanGuam.com. Couple of notes here. Ways to know that you are officially an adult. I know most of you already have it in mind that maybe you are. But here's a couple of things that may realize that you are, in fact, a grown-up.
All right.
You buy toilet paper and paper towels before you actually need them. Yep.
Yeah.
It's one of the It's one of those things. Mana, Shelley, somebody comes over to the house. It's the first thing they look at is the towel, the linen closet, and make sure that I have at least a COVID-19 supply of toilet paper and paper towels on the inside. Your mattress is in the middle of the wall, not backed into the corner.
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
Welcome. You are now a grown-up. And when your parents try to give you money, you get mad at them. I don't need your money. Welcome to adulthood. It's 9:34, Ray Gibson Show. My buddy Jack, also an adult, on the line right now. Good morning, Jack. How you doing?
Hey, Raymond, how's it going? I just was listening on your conversation.
Well, let me hold on before, because you asked me how it's going, and I wanted to give Chris Duenas a piece of good news, as well as everybody over at the legislature that voted for the repeal of the ban on the EOD. The governor has signed off on that. I applaud the 37th Guam legislature's prompt action, amending PL 36-139 to ensure the continued safety of the people and the brave individuals who are responsible for disarming or transporting unexploded ordnance in Guam. I look forward to collaborating with the legislature and DOD on additional measures to mitigate the dangers unexploded ordnance poses to our people and the environment. 4 days ago, this topic didn't exist. Today, it is now a matter of law. That section of the measure has been repealed by the governor and the legislature, effective right now. 9:35. What were you going to say?
Well, I'll take things that go boom for 600 there, Alex.
Amen to that. Are we talking a big, bada bing, bada bang, bada boom, or just the little ones like the EOD digs out every once in a while?
Anything, even the ones that go boom in the sky that floats during the carnival. But, I was listening to Cousin Troy there, and I just wanted to remind him that we do have a playbook called the Comprehensive Emergency Management Plan that was started during Cal Wilson administration, and that one also contained the pandemic plan. Nobody bothered to read it because I guess it wasn't double spaced.
No, I read it. I'll tell you right now, I read the thing, and I transmitted to copies to as many people as I thought who might be interested in this, and I will tell you right now that nobody read that part of the plan, if at all, because everything that they ended up doing was not accounted for in that plan, starting with taking over the 19th floor of the Pac Star.
Yeah, so it also has for missile launch and stuff like that. If you remember, Hawaii had a problem with their civil defense when somebody bumped into the button that said that sent text to everybody on the island saying that a missile.
They never did fire that guy. They never did fire him. I think it's one of those things where they've got a civil defense department that coddles their employees there even more than ours does here. And as far as I know,
we're supposed to have something something like that. But also there's one for the president where the president can alert the nation nationally. Remember during Trump's time, they had that capability. So
Yeah, no, we still do. We still do. For those of you that are interested, and you hear the thing every once in a while, it sounds like a fax machine going off on the radio. Those are the local tests of the emergency alert systems, and we've got it now. If the internet is still around, there should be a mechanism to be able to transmit from the president's desk in Washington, D.C., right to the radio that you are listening to us on. But like I said, there's a lot of moving parts, and there are frequent tests on a national level. Sometimes Guam is included, sometimes we're not.
And when I was in the military, we had a thing called the klaxon, and I think Bob will tell you about that because I think his father operated the klaxon system back in Wisconsin, the state. I'm just recalling.
Isn't that the name of the horn as well? The klaxon horn. It's a very distinctive noise. You can't miss it.
You can't miss it. It makes a distinct sound. But Brian Leon Guerrero, Carlotta's, and Ken's younger brother, he served at March Air Force Base, and we both worked up at the alert pad, and that thing would go off. And either you freak out or you just get used to it, But that's the sign that, you had to get to the planes and launch, and nuclear wars unfold. So, it's called the klaxon system. I don't know what they call it now, but it doesn't make the same sound as it did before. So it's more of a electronic sound than it is like a like a vehicle horn or thing like that. I have my own klaxon, as you can hear. That's the rooster.
Yeah, I do hear in the background.
Time to go out there.
I was talking with a buddy of mine, one of the comm guys, and military comm guy, and we exchanged stories about different experiences, when it comes to communications. And he's like, "Well, you're a broadcaster. What do you do there?" I said, "Well, that's the interesting ways that we have conversations about what to do, how we handle emergencies, or the emergency of a grand nature." In big act of God kind of things here in broadcasting. I said, but the other thing is I'm an amateur radio operator. I'm an amateur extra. There is no other test for me to take. I've tested as high as I possibly can, which should mean that I am capable of, even in a time where there is no electricity that is available out of the plugs in the house, I should be able to put up an antenna system and attach some kind of a radio device on that so that I can do two things. One of them is to receive, to be able to tune into frequencies and transmitters that are far enough away that they are safe and continuing to provide information. And number two, to be able to transmit out the conditions that we are under, and find ways that we might be able to seek help from anybody that might have a gizmo that is capable of receiving our pleas for help, and fresh water and batteries for the radios and all of that.
Yeah, so that's a abbreviated way of saying you're part of the ET Phone Home project, right?
Exactly. But he was saying one of the big problems, and he was a little bit older and is familiar with the way things were done in the old analog world, because everything now it's all bouncing off satellites and using high frequency communication methods, and everything is we've got it encoded and decoded and things like that. He says the fear that he has is, should those systems fail, what are the backups? And I said, I just described the backup to you. It's being able to put out a signal the strength of a 100-watt bulb. And you spoke about fallout shelters. I remember back in the day, I think the ITC building was one of those, right? Because they had that nuclear hazard sticker on the pillars as you drove into the parking lot. And I think the old PDN building, I mean, not the old one, but the one called the PDN, I don't know what it's called now. Where the... I know what I should know better, but I don't know the name of it. But we just call it the PDN building. I don't think that name is ever going away. You might correct me. I think those two are the buildings that I remember back in my youth, and those were designated fallout shelters. The old administration building in Agana before that. I want to say that was. I think the library was also a designated shelter area. What's that getting Yeah, I mean, big concrete buildings. I want to say the Cathedral Grade School cafeteria might have also been among the inventory of the civil defense system. I don't know what we've got now. We've got signs all over the place telling us where the meeting areas are for tidal waves that we're never ever going to have. I think we've invested way too much in tidal waves. I don't know in the history of the island if we've ever had one.
So you should ask Bob Kelly, because I remember he was talking about the national alert system, but Guam's E911 system wasn't up to par to handle that kind of thing. But I don't know what the story is now for that. And yeah, we need to really put people to the task when they about these things called the emergency management plan, the camp, not the one you smoke, but the EEF.
I don't know. I'm thinking that it's going to end up being every man or woman to themselves as a result of anything that's happening. We're not. I don't want to underscore this. I think we're on the brink of World War III. We seem to be marching in that direction with the aggressive Asian countries, North Korea and China here, and then you've got Russia out in that part of the world, and I just feel like Biden's flying around, chest out, going, and what? I'm bad. I'm the president of the United States. We will stand together. We are unified against what? What is it exactly that they're setting us up for? And there's not enough of a conversation here among people.
We need to plan for what we can plan. And one of the things I always told you, it's about the water.
Yeah.
We don't have enough water reservoirs or abilities to capture the water, the rainwater. And like I mentioned before, nobody talks about the near disaster we had last summer because the hotels were empty. But if we're going to plan for a buildup, we're going to plan for increased population, and we're going to plan for a buildup in tourism, we need to think about our most precious source, which is the water. And, I can't really emphasize that enough. I mean, how many telltale signs like the disaster, over at East Palestine, and the disaster in California with their water problems.
I mean, Trump is literally flying in with pallets of water. You're exactly right.
Think about how we're gonna, we only have the water lens and we only have the Fenner Dam. We need to build up our capacity for water, because without water, forget about electricity, forget about your electronic powered four-wheel cars. I mean, I'm the person that believes that we can't have life. I'm with Jamie Dimon on this. A life without fossil fuels is a life in hell, because you could look in your room, in that room you contain right there, and there's not one thing there that isn't a fossil fuel derivative. So I don't know why Simon keeps pushing this garbage, man. We need to play the hand that we are dealt and start spending on stuff that the people need for now. And, when the future comes, the future will come. But this is the wrong way to prepare for things.
Find the old people and ask them how they lived after the war.
There you go, brother.
That's all you need to do. How did you live back in the olden days? And just figure out how we can go and get fish out of the ocean and preserve that fish with salt that we can make ourselves. And while we're making the salt, we'll capture that water that comes off as in steam and put that in some kind of a still. And then we've got some kind of drinking water that we can use. The people lived without electricity for thousands and thousands of years, and
not without water.
but yeah, the first thing that you would need to do when you are kind of locked out of society is figure out how you're going to find some water that you can live on. Everything else will follow after that. 9:45, dude, I got to run.
Raymond, my finasteride won't be working without the water.
Your which one?
My Guamanian still. I got a blueprint in paper just in case there's no power on how to build one.
Send me a PDF of that, bro. That's one of the things that we're going to need to put together.
In Arahan, he has copies of these.
Oh, really? I might do that. All right, bro, I got to run. I'll talk to you later. 9:46 in the program, 888-825-5888-TALK. Jack has been on the radio today. It's Mark's turn now with his comments about a variety of junk that we've been talking about today. Good morning, Mark.
Hey, Rain Man.
Thanks for holding.
Hey, dude, comedy came early for me. I saw Guam's version of Cops.
Oh, no. Did you? Is there video? Yeah, video, or it didn't happen, bro?
Dude, I know it. If it wasn't on video, it didn't happen. But this one here happened because there was an individual that was being chased by a cop. The individual was like, the cop had about 50 pounds and maybe 5-6 inches on the guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the guy was running and putting distance between him and the cop because the cop looked like he was going to have a coronary. Okay? That wasn't the funny part. The funny part was when I left where I was at, driving by, I could not stop laughing because there were 6 cops there. One that looked like he was in good shape. The other 2 looked like they were, they're borderline. But there were 3 cops there. One probably couldn't tell you if he was wearing a belt buckle or not. And the other 2 couldn't tell you whether they had the right color shoes on.
Oh, no.
Dude, it flashed me back to Tony Cruz, if you know who I'm talking about.
A familiar name?
Yeah, si Bowling Ball. Anyway, and when I saw this thing, I could not believe. I thought the cops had a health and fitness program going on. I'm glad they caught. And this is no. I'm not banging on the cops. I love law enforcement. But when you look at a couple of guys that even the perpetrator, the guys running away from going, shit, damn, I don't need to run that fast because he ain't going to catch me.
That's right. That's right. Well, it used to be back in the old days, the rule was don't run away from the cops because you just go to the jail tired. But I hear what you're saying here. Maybe we can add that to the list of things that Chris Barnett can ask Stephen Ignacio tomorrow, or Candid can ask him today. How are we doing with the status of police officers and their physical fitness? There was a time, wasn't there, Real Joe, where they were going to be implementing a physical fitness plan, and if you didn't pass muster, they were going to let you go. But I think the reason why they stopped that,
lost a lot of officers.
They would have lost too many officers as a result of that.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, if these cops, the 3 individuals I saw, were in the military, they would have told them to untuck their shirt because that looked embarrassing. I kid you not.
Yeah, well, I know what you mean, but being a few pounds overweight myself, I got to tell you, the struggle is real. We talked about this the other day, where I need to drop 20 pounds if I want to make all of my running dreams come true in 2023. And what they say is true. Those last 20 pounds, those are the toughest to get rid of. I oscillate between 5 and 10 pounds depending on how much beer I'm drinking or how much I'm running, how much treadmill work I'm doing.
Yeah, but see, you remember, we're old. We're allowed to carry extra stuff because we're not expected to run hundreds of miles. We're old. We're retired. We're not. The only time we run is when Mama's chasing us with the checkbook. You run away. Hey, sign it. No.
Yeah, no. You signed it. Never mind. The checking account's in your name. What are you doing bugging me about that? 10 away from the top of the hour. Mark, I got to run and take the last break of the show.
Take care, buddy.
I will. 888-8255-797-8255. You got some memes that you want to send out. It's like that. And I can't give the cops too hard of a time because of that. Number one, I don't want to do their job. I'd be very, very happy watching you guys do that work. And I'll tell you what, if I didn't think that I'd probably get my ass kicked, I'd get in the chase with you. I'd just fly in and see if I could run interference for you.
Yeah,
Just
drop kick.
What's that?
A drop kick.
Drop kick. I'll help take him to ground. How's that? I'll use that word. Got a note here from Bob Kelly. As I said, is going to be traveled to Saipan today on some business. And it says, I don't know whether it's a bad day to travel or the new airfares, but the plane was less than half full on the way to the thing.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, it might also be it's Thursday. Maybe tomorrow when it's busy. I used to like to do that when I was managing operations at a station up in Saipan once upon a time. I used to like to go, the boss would give me the choice. I'd tell you what, you fly up, fly down. And I'm like, no, if I fly up, I want to be there for the weekend. And the answer was, well, you take care of your own hotel. Is it okay? I got the
No
hotel
per diem
covered
for you, man.
Yeah. Well, I knew I could get, they at the time had a traffic vehicle there as well, so I knew I could borrow that for the weekend as soon as they were done with the last traffic reports on Friday. And so that's how I did it. I'd fly up on a Friday after the morning show and just stay up there all weekend long. And every once in a while, it would happen where I'm at a buddy's house, and we're having a great time, and the Saipan hospitality, food, drink, whatever, was just everywhere. It was heavy with hospitality, and I'd look out the window and say, "Hey, you know what that is? It's what? That's the last flight to Guam."
Yeah, bye.
I guess I'm staying here. Call the shop. I'm not coming in on Monday. Great times. 9:52. Tell you what. Last break of the program. I'll be right back.
KFC's Lent menu is filled with so many seafood options, it's enough to keep you going for the entire Lenten season. They're all here. Popcorn shrimp, fish fillets, shrimp and crab Killiquin wraps, and our famous KFC shrimp burger. And now you can mix and match chicken and fish in both 6 and 12-piece family meals with sides and biscuits. KFC's Lent menu is available for a limited time at all KFC restaurants and for delivery at kfcguam.com or WhatsApp 300-3278. KFC, it's finger-licking good for Lent.
Fly even higher and get to your destination with the United Credit Card from First Hawaiian Bank. You can earn 40,000 miles with $2,000 worth of spending within the first 3 months. That's 40,000 reasons to get on board with the First Hawaiian Bank United Credit Card. It all starts with yes. Certain restrictions apply. To learn more about this offer, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com/United.
Join us at Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro and see why they've been crowned Guam's best Chamorro food restaurant for 9 consecutive years. Experience Chef Peter's candied salmon over scallion coconut rice, octopus tinactac, Chamorro platter, and their award-winning gourmet burgers. Or if you're looking for something healthy, try their keto-friendly menu. Come and enjoy Mezcla's half-a-day service at their Hagåtña location from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch, 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. for dinner, or 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. for their famous Sunday brunch.
What happened? 9:54. Last look here at the table of contents. Did we get to everything? Might have possible. I got a note here. Try not to be breathless as I read it. Around 6 p.m. Wednesday, the administrative team at Louis Untalan Middle School sent out a message via Swift Reach messaging systems on Power School. The message announced that Louis Untalan Middle School will be implementing a no-bag policy today and tomorrow. The GDOE leadership team is aware of this message circulating on all platforms and is in support of the precautionary measures taken by the school administration. GDOE will not release a formal statement at this time as GPD is presently conducting an investigation. What the hell is going on with our school kids? What's going on? I follow on Twitter a variety of things to follow on Twitter, a variety of the membership. And there's one that seems to take or have access to quite a significant number of videos of kids fighting in schools. Fat kids, skinny kids, kids that fly on rocks or whatever, and chicken pox. But any number of different kids scenarios in these videos, and they all have the same thing in common. They're just fighting. They're knocking the hell out of each other. I mean, just kicking and scratching and haymaker punches that are getting thrown in the schools. And I've seen some videos of teachers being assaulted by students. And it just kind of makes you wonder what the heck is going on in the schools. It wasn't that long ago that I finally got where Candid had made the announcement that there were threats that were being leveled against certain students, classmates at Academy of Our Lady of Guam. And what was the school that came up after that? Do you remember? Was it Bishop?
Yeah, it was Bishop.
Yeah,
Bishop
where they came out and got in front of the story and told all the parents, look, we got a problem. We got some threats being made on the campus. Police have been called, and everybody's undergoing some kind of a training. And now we hear this story of GPD involved in investigations of one kind or another. They're not talking about transparency, guys, taking place at Untalan Middle School. What's going on, kids? Donald Trump of all people, wants to put the Department of Justice into the mix in terms of school discipline. And I love Trump. Not sure how I feel about that particular idea, though. That we would have that degree of federal oversight of what happens in the schools in order to keep them safe. And I suppose maybe another conversation that we need to have is maybe the time for that kind of education up to a certain age, maybe that time is over. Maybe you just got to take a look at it and say, there's a whole generation of kids for whom this method of education simply breeds disrespect for each other, disrespect for the teachers and the faculty and each other. So maybe we're just not going to have high school anymore. Maybe we'll get to the kids to about the 9th grade where they still might be afraid of something like authority, their parents, the parapros in the schools, and stop there. And anything after that, if we haven't prepared you one way or the other, then you're going to have to fend for yourself, because we just can no longer harbor the idea that we're going to be warehousing basically predators in the schools looking for opportunities to throw hands. And you go, okay, well, maybe that's just the guys. And the answer is no. I'm seeing just as many videos of girls lighting in after each other. There's something that has gone on. And maybe we can blame it on COVID. Maybe we can blame it on pop culture or whatever. But there needs to be a more serious answer to what's going on in the schools. I'm dying to find out what's going on at Antolana. I might see if I can, in the next few minutes, send out another blurb. We've only got a couple of minutes left on the air now anyway. But we need to have the people at the Department of Education, Juan Pat. Are you listening, Acting Superintendent Juan Pat? This is not something that we need to keep the community in the dark about, because it could be going on in other schools, and the investigation may likely have to spread one way or the other. Closing in on 10 o'clock in the morning. All right, well, this is enough of the serious stuff here, but I don't know that I've got anything else that we can talk about. What's this? I want to let you know that there is a job opening, and if you don't take it, I'm going to get myself set up so I can. There's a job opening for a dive master or a dive instructor at Eagle Tours. And you might be going, why is that such a great career opportunity, Ray? And the answer is, you know what some people wear when they go diving? And the answer is as little as possible. That's what the answer is. And having spent a little bit of time underwater with some groovy-looking people, maybe it might be one of those things where, go and get yourself some instruction and become a dive instructor or a dive master. It's a job that follows you around the world. Wherever there is ocean and wherever there are air tanks, there's an opportunity to make a living doing that kind of thing. Might be worth looking into. For Real Joe and Donna D and Jerry Roberts, my name is Ray Gibson saying thanks so much for listening all the way through the return to 4-hour Thursday program. We've got 4 full hours for you tomorrow as well. Let's get caught up about 6 o'clock right here, 93.3 KUSG. I got you. This is The Point.
By a former president, I'm Rich Dennis.